the worst fight you ever have in a prison is your CNR training. But we didn't know that, obviously. That's why I lost my teeth. But
What?
so we go in, man, and he's proper fighting, he's punching the thing, he's slapping us with the shield, and he kicked me in the face. We eventually got him in, yeah, and it was that bad, Sean. When I had him at the end, I thought, if he gets out of this now, I'm done. I've got nothing left. I went outside for a smoke, and the pain hit me. And I'm like, spitting his teeth on fire or whatever. We got attacked by a lad with one leg once.
What? Did he grab his fake leg? And...
Yeah, the nurse was there with him, and he started proper abusing the nurse. So we're not having that. We never had that. You abuse your nurse, mate, you're in trouble. So we went in. The next thing, leg comes off, and he's like that, running out like that. And Jace just clubbed him to the floor, and we twisted him up. And mate, for months, I couldn't walk around the jail without officers hopping and going, come on, man. We very rarely had trouble, but when we did, we had to deal with it. A lot of it was people bringing stuff in. The monkey dust one was the worst. It's like, makes you mega paranoid, like mega. We spent all day running in cells, getting shanks off them, trying to cut their ears off, their noses off.
What?
The willies, everything.
Willies?
We was walking around just like butchers dripping with blood. It was on weights, and this lad had cut up, like proper bad. He'd slashed himself up because he wouldn't get him Rizzler. So I'm proper telling him, I said, mate, you're a waste of space, aren't you? I said, and you're cutting your arm like that because you've not got a Rizzler, so you're pathetic. And he goes, I'll show you pathetic. And he ripped this plan and started squirting me and Steph with blood. So I'm like, you what? So I jumped on him. Assistance needed at the back of visits. All the staff come running down and ran into visits. I mean, I'm fighting with his prisoner. But I was cuffed to him as well, so I only had one arm. The inside of the ambulance looked like someone had been shot. We had this priest come in, bad what he'd done, and nuns were coming to visit him. Thousands of images on his computer, abusing young boys for years. He finally got caught, and because he was short of cell, they locked him up with a 19-year-old. It's like, what you doing, man? And then they give me, I was his key work, and I never went to it. I couldn't stay in the same room as him, mate, because I know what I'd done. Some of them were just like horrible people. I used to be in tears, mate. That's what finally broke me, I think. I couldn't cope.
Hope you're enjoying our podcast. Here's a word from a sponsor, Atlas VPN. This is the best VPN deal in the market. Enjoy the most affordable online protection for just $1.70 per month plus 6 months extra with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Enjoy Black Friday price cut because now Atlas VPN Premium is just $1.70 per month plus 6 months extra with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Protect your privacy and get many benefits of Atlas VPN for the ridiculously low price. You can take this deal by clicking the link in the video description below. Be quick as it's a limited time offer. Unlock your favourite content from all over the world. Can't access Friends or other legendary shows on your Netflix while being abroad? That's not a problem anymore. Atlas VPN got you covered. Hey, the Savile doc, BBC, check it out in America. Know what I'm saying? Wink, wink. Keep your Google searches in private. Looking for something on Google? With Atlas VPN, you can search the web with real and organic search results and do it without tracking your activity. Go away, feds. Stop ads and malware. This is more than just a VPN. It blocks all the malicious links, ads and trackers and notifies you when someone is trying to steal your data. And we are inundated with hackers. So Atlas VPN, take that, hackers. Enjoy Black Friday price cut because now Atlas VPN Premium is just $1.70 per month plus 6 months extra with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Protect your privacy and get many benefits of Atlas VPN for the ridiculously low price. You can take this deal by clicking the link in the video description below. Be quick as it's a limited time offer. So we've got an untold story from Mark Davies, former prison guard at Dovegate from 2011 to 2023, May this year. Mark's working on his book. We're helping him with that. He's got tons of insane stories, and we're going to go over, his career in more detail. But many of you are familiar with the serial killer Joanna Dennehy, and Mark had a story because Stretch, her 7-foot accomplice. Let me tell you a little bit about Stretch. Gary Stretch, 48, in 2014 was jailed for life for attempting to kill Robin Bereza and John Rogers in Hereford in 2013. And Joanna Dennehy's doing life as well. And we interviewed Fran, who was in with her. So, Mark, Stretch, is he really that tall?
He was very tall. He had to duck down to get through the cell door.
Wow.
He was a big lad. That was my first conversation with him. So, wow, you're a big lad, aren't you?
And is his presence as fearsome as his reputation?
No. He was... he used to call him the flower man because he used to look after all the flowers on the therapeutic prison. But it was like, with us, with me, well, I got off him. He was just a gentle giant. You could tell he was easily manipulated by others but when it comes to his flowers, the only time I see him angry was when someone like stood on the flower bed. But even then, it weren't like an aggressive angry. He just said, "Get off my flowers," and I think he did. But he was, I had no trouble with Gary. He was a good lad.
So do you think he's reformed?
Probably because he's away from the influence, yeah. But I think he'd probably fall under the influence if someone did it with him again.
You think he could easily fall under someone's influence?
Yeah, he was that, yeah. Because when he got shipped out, they found a lot of drugs on that ring and everyone would say, "Oh, it must be him." And he took it. He didn't even defend himself. So it's like, if I could have spoken to him, I said, "Gary, just cover yourself. What's up with you?" But they've got the code, haven't they? Can't grass. So he got shipped out. He'd done 2 years on therapy. They'd only supposed to do 3. So he'd done a lot of it. And to me, it was working because he was in the gardens and he loved it. But yeah, he was all right.
There was another inmate you encountered, Joshua Davies, who bludgeoned 15-year-old Rebecca Aylward to death with a rock in 2011 after luring her to the woods near Abercyffig Bridgend. Now, 8 years later, he confessed to prison officers, according to Rebecca's mother, raising her fears that the move could help his bid for early release. What kind of an inmate was Josh?
He was very manipulative. And he had some of the staff around his little finger because he played the cute little boy and he grew his hair long and he tried all that. It didn't work with me because I don't fall for that. I've worked in care with kids and try and manipulate me. I see it straight away normally I'd say, because it has happened. He was a strange. He got a job in the library. He was like a freedom at jail, and I didn't trust him really. And he used to go on his little hunger strikes on the anniversary and stuff like that. And against all the therapeutic ideal he had, I used to go in with food and put it on the table and sit there. I didn't force him to eat it, but I wouldn't leave till he'd ate some. He was, very manipulative, and you could see from what he did that he was still that type of person. He'd come across, oh yeah, poor me, but he wasn't. And he had his little gang on the wing as well. And
he had a gang?
Oh yeah. I used to keep going in, split, like, get out. Because in the main prison, you'd only allow yourself and one other prisoner in. They were just taking the mickey, and the staff were letting him because it's therapy. Well, no, not when Mark's on. Get out, what are you? I eventually, the prisoners started to appreciate it because I was dead down the line. I was doing, and they felt better that I was doing that, but the staff didn't. Staff didn't like it, and it was them that got rid of me in the end.
You were keeping it real. Did Josh ever try to harm himself or end it?
Yeah, he did the younger thing. He'd self-harmed and stuff like that. But it was all poor me. To me, it's like, not poor you, poor that young girl that you killed me. And I wasn't like that with everyone. I was quite a caring officer. That's what I was known for in the prison. But no, it's not happening with me.
There was a story you were telling me about a guy who was threatening to stab you.
This was a negotiation. The young man, he was new in prison, never been in prison before, so some of the older prisoners wound him up. we started this education thing after COVID to let the prisoners stay out a bit longer and do education till 7 o'clock. Wasn't very popular with the staff, but it is what it is. And when he come back, all the lads were saying, "Oh, someone's been in your cell and robbed all your vapes." So he's like, "Right," and he didn't even check. He just got on the railings. "I want my vapes back." He's not even checked. They were still there. They were just finding them up. But this lasted 7 hours, mate.
7 hours. When you say the railings, can you describe what that means?
Oh, sorry, yeah. We've got in our prison. There's no netting because we've only got 2 floors, the 1s and the 2s. So there's no netting. But obviously there's railings round the 2s. So we got on the railings.
So if they fall off the railings, they've had it.
I mean, one of them did it once. I'm diverting her. And we used to have pool tables at one end and a snooker table at the other end. So he's on the railings above the pool table. So if he fell off, he'd fall about 3 foot.
Okay.
So I was like, "Mate, if you jump, you're only going to land on pool table. You're not going to do any harm. So no one's bothered what you do." He said, "Just come over and let's deal with it." "Oh, I'm going to jump." I said, "Look." Honest, mate, it was about 3-4 foot to the pool table. I was there with him an hour before he realised it's not going to work.
So how did the 7 hours end?
Sorry, yeah. So can I just say, before that, we'd had 2 more incidents on other house blocks of someone on railings. So I was running from reception to house block 2, got him down. This was about meds and we sorted that out quite quickly. Got him back down. "Mark, you need to go to house block 1. Like, "What for now? Such bodies on railings." Like, Jesus. So I'm on late. So after the prisoners are done in reception, they'll be going home in a bit. Flipping it. So I ran up, got him down within like half an hour. Because I knew these lads, and I'm like, "Come on, man." So we get back again. I gets my pen out. "Mark, house block 3, November wing." "Oh, what now?" "Someone's on railings." 3 in a day.
3 in a day.
Joking me, but he was like, he's going to be here for a long time, this one. And he was like hanging like that off the railings. I'm like, he's not going to last long. Yeah, 7 hours later he was. So I'm talking to him, and we're talking all kinds of rubbish, which you have to do as a negotiator. Because I'm not there technically to get him off. I'm there to keep him there till they come, the big boys.
Yeah.
So, and because it was a late and most of our staff had gone home, we didn't even have enough to get a team. So I'm on my own. It should be 3 of us, but I'm on my own. So time's ticking on and we're talking all this and he's going banging on. And even some prisoners were shouting, "Mark, we'll give him some vapes if he gets down," because they didn't want us on the wing, obviously, they're getting up to stuff, aren't they? "We'll give him some vapes if he gets down. We'll give him to you and you can give him to him." And he's like, "No, I want my vapes back." We're like, "All right, okay, mate, if that's what you want to do." So we're talking about all kinds of football, talk about his dad. He got on with his dad, so it was a safe subject. But normally I'm getting all this information off my number 2 because the psychiatrists are up there and everyone, but we're getting nothing because it's late at night. So I'm doing it off the top of my head. So I'm going on and we're talking all this. And I've got one officer with me. He's a big lad. And he's got all his stuff on his bat and his spray and all his... And I'm there like, just in the unit. I've got nothing because you're not allowed as a negotiator. So this lad, we're talking, and obviously my big issue when I was a negotiator, especially in a cell, I used to get too close and they have to keep pulling me back. So I kept this in mind, so I kept a bit away. And we're talking, and all of a sudden he just jumps over the railing and says, "I've effing had enough of this." And he ran up the wing, so I'm thinking, right, we've got him, because he's off the railing, he's going up the wing. He's disappeared, probably going to get some help. We can have him off and get him off. Oh, he runs up the wing. I don't want to criticise my colleagues because 99% of them are brilliant. But somebody forgot to lock the broom cupboard. Now, normally we leave that open at night when they're all locked up in case the night staff want anything. But the first rule, someone's on railings, lock everything down. But somehow he forgot. I'm not going to criticise anyone. No, I wasn't saying anything. I was only kidding. So he runs in there, gets his broom handle, he snaps it. So I'm still thinking there's going to be some crew coming up the other way. So I've got to keep him occupied, so hopefully he don't see him. because we have back doors to come in and everything, so they could have come through the back door, got behind him, decked him. Sorry, CNR'd him. So he comes at me with his handle, and I'm like, I explained before, my problem is I'm fight or flight. I haven't got a flight, I'm an idiot. I don't like backing down. So I'm stood there, arms out, you know, the proper like, and I just start talking to him, and he's going, oh, get out of my way. I said, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? You can only go down there or over there. You can't even get off the wing, mate. What are you going to do? So he's like, just shut up. You know, he's getting frustrated with me because he knew I weren't scared, that I'm not going to move. And he comes right up to me like this, lipstick, and I'm like, mate, you're really going to have to push that hard to get through this, aren't you? And he just looked at me, he smiled, dropped it, ran off and got the railings again. But this idiot, he was backing me up, had gone.
Oh.
He'd run off the wing. I was actually on my own. And I don't know if you know, but in private prisons, we have a controller who is like overlooks it all. The controller pulled me up the next day. He said, Mark, that was brilliant. He said, how did you keep so calm when that stick was at you? He said, you was there, you did everything right, and he was like that far away from you. I said, I just told him he had to push it hard to get through my belly. He said, oh, get away. But, yeah, so the Nationals come. So they set it, as I said before, they set him all up. And I'm like, with me and Mike on. And I'm talking to him, I said, listen, mate, these are going to rag you off. You're going to get hurt. I'm not even going to bull you. You're going to get hurt if they come. But he's like, never know. He don't know about the Nationals. So this National, one of the Nationals come up. He's only small like me. He's like, I'll have him, I'll have him off. I said, mate, you won't. Because two, he won't be on his own. And secondly, he could probably take it on his own anyway. Because that's all they do. That's their job. No. Even when they all gathered at the top of the wing to come down, I said to him, mate, please just jump off. They're going to destroy you. I'm telling you, they don't mess about. And he's proper giving it out. I'm like, okay, mate, I'm off. And I walked off. I didn't even watch. Because, see, to me, in my negotiations, I felt a failure if someone has to come and get him off. I've won if he comes off, no one gets hurt. So I'm walking off, and I just see two of them click on, you know, the belts, and they clip onto the wing like that, one each side of him. And I seen the film after, and it just went up to him, dead close. One of them, the little one it was as well, just dragged him over the railings and accidentally lifted his knee at the same time and smashed him right. It was brutal, Sean. He didn't even learn, because on his way to seg, he tried to run off. These lads are not going to let you run off. They carried him down to seg, his nose must have been that far from the floor. Fighting, oh mate, mad. He got shipped out, come back. He was all right. I said to him the next day, I said, how you doing, mate? Been keep his coach on. I don't know. I said, how you doing, mate? Thanks for sticking with me and that. I said, not a problem, mate. I said, I wanted to thank you as well. He goes, why? I said, because I've just booked an holiday, but wages I got talking to you for 7 hours. Thanks, mate. He's like, pissed off. But we got on all right after that. He was no bother. But when he went up to Doncaster, when they got him into the reception area, he jumped on the roof at the van and he was there for 2 hours. I think he's just one of them lads, mate. He was new to it, and I mean, I ripped him about that when he come back. I said, why do you do things like that? But you can't go anywhere. You're not going to gain anything by being on the roof of a wagon. Wow.
So there you have an introduction to a sample of Mark's stories. There's tons more to come. We're going to go through his journey in the order it happened now. Also, before Mark worked as a prison officer, he worked helping survivors of adults who are attracted to kids. And we're going to call those people, for the purpose of this interview, we're going to call those people VPs, because when they do get arrested, they go to a section of the prison which houses the VPs, so that's what we're going to call them, to avoid any problems with YouTube, not to take away from the monsters that these people are. So Mark, then, why did you get into the prison service?
It goes back to when, in the 70s, I was in the army. And I wanted to be a prison officer. when I got out.
What was your role in the army?
I was in the Royal Corps of Signals. I was a radio operator driver. Drove the big APCs like Dead Warrior and Blackface and all. And when I had my exit interview, when I left, my OC, was a major, officer in command, he's a major. And he said, right, Davies, never called his wife first name, what are you going to do when you get out? So I'm going to be a prison officer. He went, open Marple.
Effing dead body.
Yeah. And he called the Sergeant Major there and he said, Sergeant Major, take this man down to the jail and let him smell them, because he used to slap out in them days, didn't he? And he marched me down, made me smell the cells, and was like, come back. He's like, that's what you'll smell every day. You want to do that? I ain't giving you the reference. So I'm like, stubborn head. I was even stubborn then at 23. Yeah, I still want to be one, and I'll get someone else to do it. He said, get out, get out. And Sergeant Major's like, good job you're going, mate. You made a bad enemy there. I don't care.
How many years were you in the army?
I total I did 8 years. I joined when I was 16.
Did you go around the world?
Unfortunately, no. I only went to Germany.
Germany.
I got posted to a unit after I finished my training. And the day before I got there, he gone to Kenya for a month, so I missed out.
Oh.
So no, in the army, I just went to Germany, really.
So you become an expert in radio communications?
Expert's a big word, but yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I'll say yeah.
And was that skill transferable into the prison system?
Well, when I eventually did join the prison service, I started as, they call them SOs in private jails, but OSGs in it. So they're non-custodial people. They don't work with prisoners.
What do those stand for?
Security officer, they call it. An SO in a HMP is like a big manager thing. But they weren't taking PCOs then, believe it or not, they had too many. So I did the SO course. As soon as they found I was in Royal Signals, they put me in the comms room, so I suppose it was a little bit, yeah.
Because we hear a lot of stories about prisons, but we never hear stories about the comms room. What is the comms room?
Right, the comms room is a little room. Well, it's not little, but it's got no windows in it, nothing. And when I started, we still used videotapes for the CCTV camera, which we had to change at midnight every night. So some people in charge used to say, Mark, just leave them tapes out for 10 minutes, and did what they had to do. And it's basically, you run the prison, not like a governor, but you're running the jail. You've got cameras everywhere, you're watching everywhere, it's a lot, to me, it's a big job, but people who sit on their bums all day in the gatehouse get the same money, which was another thing I went on a crusade about later on. But so you've got your radio, your master radio, if you like, where you can get hold of everyone. You've got the emergency phone, you've got all the cameras, you've got you're booking taxis, you do hundreds of things, and it's dead stressful, because in them days, when I started there, we had the VPs who couldn't move with the main prisoners, and then we had the TC who couldn't move with the VPs or the main prison, so it was like constantly in your ear.
What's the TC?
Therapeutic community, they call it. So it was like constant, and it's so stressful, but I loved it. And one time we had a flash flood, and the whole prison, all the communications were knocked out. So I had a handheld and one camera, and I run the prison for 2 hours. I was buzzing, mate. I was buzzing. It was like a drug. It was like, yeah. And I mentioned him later on, Brian Lickley, he's retired now. He just stood behind me and he was like, I don't need to be here, mate. He was like the duty governor. I said, I'll leave it with you, just give me a ring. But you know, there's still idiot officers who were asking for the move. And it was like belting it down. And that was the one thing that annoyed comm staff, that we'd freeze the movement and people go, oh, can I move? I'm like, you got your head, didn't have the headphones in. You used to drive me mad. I used to proper bollock people over at radio.
So if the prison doesn't have a comms room, can it not run?
Not really, no. And even at night, we have a night comms officer, and they're actually in control of the gates. So if you have to have an ambulance in, say, oh, there's been a riot, I'm opening the gates. But to me, I'm wide open to corruption, aren't I? Imagine someone dropped me a few, right, let us in. And they used to be on your own. You had no one there. Wow. So yeah, the comms room is to me the heart of the prison. But I took it really serious, and anyone who stepped out, any officer, I don't care who they are, I'm telling them. I put in my book about one at Governor's. She's power mad, she was. I liked her. She was power mad. And I was moving the VPs, so prison's frozen. She gets on the radio, she goes, I'll save it to 2. I don't think she was duty governor. But, can I move one from reception back to the CSU? So I'm like, permission denied, got VPs en route. And she comes back and she said, right, and the phone rings. She said, Mark, I want to move the prison now. It's me and Rob. Rob was the manager. I said, Louise, I'm sorry, with all due respect, but you're not moving on my route when I've got VPs. I said, so you shout and bawl at me all you like, you're not moving. But her husband was the security manager who told me not to let anyone move, so I'm like, I'm not getting in the middle of this. And the comms room was like, oh my God, you've upset. I'll say her name, Louise. She don't like people. I said, well, mate, I'm not bothered, because what if he'd have come out, ran at a VP, started fighting, oh, comms let me move. No. So about 10 minutes later, I let her move. Next thing, I see it on camera, like this coming upstairs, and everyone's like, oh, I'm going to make a brew. You like left me there, and Louise comes in. She goes, well done, Mark, that was a test. We weren't really going to move, but I wanted to test you because you keep telling people off, so I wanted to see if you were the same with us. And she walked out and like, yes.
So in that incident where there was a flash flood then, if you hadn't picked up the slack, would they have had to just lock the whole prison down for security purposes?
Yeah.
If the comms room can't function, the whole prison's got to be locked down.
Comms are out, the prison locks down. We've had it. Comms have gone down before the radios, but we've managed to deal with it because we have an handheld. So if the main finger's down, we can use it. We've still got the cameras, we can use it, but they've gone down as well. And I loved it, honestly. We had the wagons stuck in the airlock, but the water was up here. People couldn't get out the door, so we had to stay there. Had to get people locked away and made sure it was clear. But it was, it was fun. We had a few times. I mean, we had one girl, she was in the comms, and all the radios went down. So we have a loudspeaker system, but it goes to all the wings. So she, in her, whatever was going on in her head that time, she got on the thing throughout the prison. Attention, all the radios are down. So all the prisoners knew the radios were down. It's like, wow. The governor come up and we could hear the governor shouting at her from next door. He went mad. It's like, people didn't realise it was a Cat B jail, Sean. We had dangerous people in there. And this goes on for years, mate, people letting them do what they want. And they're like, mate, he's a murderer. He won't think twice of stabbing you in the head. He's in for 40 years. He's not going to be bothered. And this went on all over the prison, mate. People, I went on the wing sometimes, like, what's going on here, man?
Who would you say were the most dangerous prisoners you had in there?
The gangs, really, to be fair, Sean, because there was a few of them. So, but it was dangerous lads in there, but if you got on the right side, I got on the right side of some. I mean, I say it in what I wrote. On Lima Wing, there was a lot of Manx on there, and this Big John from Ancoats, where I was come from. He ruled that wing like, he ruled the wing. But me and him used to get on great. And a lot of the other matches, that lad who was from the Gooch was on there as well. So I got on all right with them all. But some of them now. I mean, one of them from London, he, I can't remember what happened, but I pulled him over something. I think he pushed in at the servitor. So I hate that. So I pulled him up, said, yeah, mate. It's like, I don't call me, mate. I hate screws and well. I said, well, I don't care really, mate. I said, I'm here, I'm doing my job. Don't push in. Because then I've got to deal with 10 other, like, they won't. I said, he's going, they won't say no. I said, yeah, but I am, so stop it. And he threw his pudding at me. I didn't do nothing. I said, oh, okay, mate, you're not getting another. And I walked off. My manager came up, he says, why did you let him get away with that? I said, because he wanted me to kick off with him. I think I proved more of a point. So later on, I always, sometimes when I lose my rag, I'll go, if I feel I'm in the wrong, I'll go and apologise to the prisoner. And I went up to him and I said, yeah, mate, sorry about that. He went, don't speak to me, Sky, don't speak to me. And he's in my face. I said, mate, get out of my face. I said, you might have got away with it once, don't do it again. And I found out he was like a proper hitman for some gang in London. I was like, done it again. He got shipped out not long after he went back to a Cat A.
So you wouldn't get serial killers in Cat B then, would you?
Well, we had, not that I was aware of, Sean, to be honest. It probably was because it was a Cat B. We did used to get transfers from like Wakefield and Long Lartin and Full Sutton.
Monster Mansion.
Yeah. Oh, I've got to tell you this one. One of them come down, right? He was getting transferred from Wakefield. He was a bad a VP, sorry.
Yeah.
So the Wakefield wagon turns up, and then two other little wagons pulled behind it. It's like, what's going on? 170 bags of prop he had. Like, so my manager's like, we're not even got room in our big red shed for them. You can't bring them, sorry. So he's like, know it all. It's my right to have my property, blah, blah, blah. Well, we'd have to send it to the big massive storage, but we can only go there once a month, so where are we going to put it? So they're like, Mark, just put him in a room. So I put him in a room. And he sat there, he said, I'm entitled to my dinner. I said, yeah, no, you are, mate. I said, you've just walked through the door, give me a minute and I'll go and get you something. He goes, I'm Jewish and I have to have this and I have to have that. I said, no problem, we've got Jewish food. Kosher, sorry.
Kosher, yeah.
I said, I'll get you kosher food, not a problem. So normally we give the prisoners, it was microwave, obviously. So when it gets microwave, we put it on a plate, take it to him in the holding cell, and he quite happily munch away. So I goes and gets his kosher meal. We get the orderly, he warms it up for him. Got some water, because I thought if he's kosher, he won't gonna have coffee or tea, because I didn't know, so I thought I better be safe. I said, yeah, mate. He goes, where's my knife and fork and my table? I said, you're in prison, mate. You're not in a restaurant. I'm entitled to this, that. I said, mate, you're not entitled to anything. He said, you're entitled to this. You didn't, he's in a holding cell on his own. I said, so you either want your dinner or you don't. You're not having a table and chairs. So he's like, I said, mate, shut up. And he just took his dinner off and locked the door. We didn't accept him, he had to go back. But this is what they're like. They come out of Cat A thinking they know.
17 bags of property,
Oh,
did you
170,
say?
mate.
170?
There's 3 vans full of bags. All his legal stuff and all that. So, but when they go with Geo Amy, they're the normal, like, they can only take 3 bags and an outside bag, and they've got to be 15 kilos each bag. These idiots are bringing 17 bags. When I take a prisoner to another wing, another prison, if I go with more than 3 bags, they won't let me in.
Yeah, where I was housed, I think 2 big plastic bags full of stuff was what we were allowed.
But they was 3.
170?
That's got to be a
record.
Well, it's the most I've ever seen. I've took 17 bags myself to a Cat A, but I rang them up to let them know. So they said, yeah, otherwise I wouldn't have took it. Because the atmosphere, if you like, or I don't know what to call it, had frozen a bit now. It's thawed a bit with HMP and private jails. So, I mean, when I did my negotiator course, I was the only private officer on it. So no one spoke to me for a few hours, but then me being a mouthy person, I just started talking to him and we got on all right after that. But yeah, it's thawed a bit. There's still some.
All right, so let's go back then. So you transfer from the military to the prison service. You got as expert in comms. Did you have to do like a basic training program for the prison?
Oh, yeah, for the non-custodial, believe it or not, it's 3 days. Which for me was not bad because I was stuck in a comms room. But to me, 3 days training for like visit staff who are actually in a room with prisoners is not enough. You can't do CNR as an SO, but you do personal protection, they call it. But that's changed now. But it's they've got to be coming at you before you can do that. So it's your form of defence. Where now it's changed because we do spear. Oh, sorry, they do spear. We can be the aggressors. If they're coming at us, we can take it. And
so you have to role play attacks. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. What, on the 3-day one?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, it's about an hour to show you how to kick a big mat and how to defend yourself and what to shout. And then you do a bit of paperwork and then you're off.
So within an hour, you're training self-defence.
Yeah, 3 days. 3 days, Sean. And it's like, for an officer, it's 8 weeks. You have to go into everything. A full week of CNR, big fight at the end with the instructors. That's why I lost my teeth.
What?
Yeah, I lost my teeth. It's not a war story. I did it in training.
Go on, what happened?
Well, I did my first... Right, the first course they did, after this governor had decided, I've made a mistake here, we do need more PCOs. So, Louise, the lady, was like shouting and that. She said to me, Mark, put your application form in, you're on the next course. I'm like, okay. I went on the course, but I failed my CNR. I just had a mind freeze and I was lay there and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So, luckily, I still had a job in the prison, so I just went back to that. Anyway, so I got put on the next course, determined not to fail this time, obviously. So we get to CNR, and I'm like buzzing because I'm getting it all, I'm doing it all, I'm remembering it all. And at the end of it, you have like we call the fight day, where we have to get kitted up properly, shield, everything. And one of the instructors is a prisoner, and they fight like shit. It's the worst. I didn't know at the time, but not the worst fight you ever have in a prison is your CNR training, because a prisoner will never go that long fighting you. But we didn't know that, obviously. So we go in, and he's proper fighting, he's punching the thing, he's slapping us with the shield, and got the shield off the prison. So we got him down eventually. Hour and a half he had us at it, Sean. Even the instructor was saying that's out of order. But yeah, he kicked me in the face. In the mouth, but because I was so adrenaline up, and I was so like, hey, we're failing this time, effing failing this time, and we eventually got him in there, and it was that bad, Sean. When I had him at the end, I thought, if he gets out of this now, I'm done. I've got nothing left. Luckily, he didn't. But I went outside for a smoke, and the pain hit me, and I was like. Spitting his teeth on fire or whatever. But the second phase of that training is in a cell. We've got to get him at a cell removal.
After your teeth have been knocked out, you don't have to do an extraction.
Yeah, so I couldn't not do it, which means I failed. So I'm like, right, okay. I had about 10 bags and I went in. So one of the instructors, Simon Heath, he's a god to me, Simon Heath. He got me through a lot of stuff. He said, yeah, Mark, give me the shield. Said, go in there and get him back for what he did to you out in there. I'm like, yeah. So I was like, no. Runs in, he was like, where is he? He was under bed. Like, bah. So I dive under bed, and I'm scrapping with him under bed. And I got my legs on him, and I was pushing him, keeping him under bed, thinking I was on the wall. So I was like, Mossy, get him. It was Mossy and Kim, a girl. I said, Mossy and Kim, get him. Mossy goes, you dickhead, you squashing us against the wall as well. So I had them behind the wall. Eventually we got him out, and his arm was black. Both his arms were black. He had to have the day off.
How many teeth did you lose, Mark?
I lost 3, 4. I mean, I've had the prisoner paying for me to have new ones, so that's why I'm a bit gummy now.
Yeah.
But that caused a lot of banter as well, mate.
What kind of kick did he land?
He just kicked me in the face. It wasn't like, I think he didn't do it on purpose. It was just part of the fight.
Yeah.
But I think my teeth were a bit loose because I smoke a lot.
Okay.
So that didn't help. But I didn't hold it against him, but he got sacked. Someone was on an act, and he took him off the act, and he killed himself that night.
Hold on, slow down.
Oh, sorry.
Someone was on
an act.
What does that mean?
It's like it's called assessment, care in custody and teamwork. It's like a book, like they're on the book. it's not, it can be used as a suicide book as well, but if they they're threatening to self-harm or attempt suicide, can't say commit because it's not an offence anymore. That got drilled into me on training, but anyway. So they're on the orange book.
Yeah.
So the manager will say, right, they need to check him every 15 minutes or every half an hour. And this lad was, he was in a bad way, but he was a blagger. So he'd tell certain people he was all right. I can go into that a bit deeper really, but...
Yeah, please do, because we don't like to cut long stories short here.
Well, when I was an act assessor, which means I'm the first to go in if someone's in trouble or they're suicidal. I have to go in and do an assessment on them. And in the training, Naomi, she was drilled into us about maladaptive behaviour. And so we had to go in and do the assessment. And then we go and sit with the manager, supposedly. Well, he did the interview with him after he'd seen our notes. And what happened with this one, because a lot of managers, they've only got so many hours, they've got to do it within an hour. So a lot of them can't be bothered, so like, last minute, quick, get him in. Oh, we need the assessor. Oh, it don't matter, just get him in. So they got the assessor, so this lad lied. Oh yeah, I'm all right, good, yeah, good. Can take me off it, yeah. But I didn't assess him, mate, someone else did. But they'd sat with him for 2.5 hours, 4 pages of notes. He wasn't all right. So this person took him off the act, killed himself about 3 hours later. So he ended up getting sacked for that, this manager. It was bad, mate. I mean, I'll tell you one, I got called up and said, Mark, you need to do an act assessment. So I went up and with me padding, looking dead important. I goes in and says, right, mate, sit down. And I used to go in the cell with him. In them days, we could smoke, we could set fags on. So the first icebreaker with him, I'd get me fag, give him a fag. I said, yeah, mate, have a fag. Let's have a chat. So I'm sat there, Lambert and Butler, not cheap stuff. So we're chatting to him, and I said, right, mate, what's going on? He said, Mark, I'm glad you're here. I said, because these 3 lads that come on the wing, he actually hit him on the out. And that's why he won't come out. But the staff like, you will come out, we'll lock you behind the door. We said, well, I didn't mind that because it was safe. And that was what I mean with the maladaptive behaviour, because they're doing it because they need to tell us something. And he'd been by these 3 clowns who were on the wing. So obviously, but he couldn't come out on the wing and say that, could he? So he refused to come out. But some of the staff are like jumping all over him, saying, oh, right, yeah. Mad. But there's a few of them, mate. They've actually kicked off, and I'm like, what are you doing?
And there was a situation where someone tied themselves to a door.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, one lad, he used to threaten to attempt suicide a lot. And so he was one of them that some people wouldn't take it serious, but to me, every time someone says they're going to do it, I've got to take it serious, haven't you? Because the one time you don't, do it. So, but he tied himself up on the arm on the door. So if you'd opened it, if we kicked it in to get him, it was going to rip him, innit?
Was that your original plan, to kick it in?
Not mine, because I knew it was there. But this was late on at night. So my big mate, ex-army as well, he comes up to me, he's like, well, what's going on? So I said, he's strung up in there, mate. Sorry about using the phrase, but that's what we said. He's strung up, and before I could say out, he's like that. I said, no, mate, don't kick the door. He's like, why? I said, you got it. He's strung up on the door. If you kick the door up, you're going to kill him. Oh. I was like, oh, thank God for that. Because he was right, his foot was up ready, and I went, whoa, whoa. So I eventually got this lad to untie himself, and he sat in the top of his cell, and I sat at the door, because technically I shouldn't go in. Got to keep that distance. So we're chatting away, and he seems dead calm, and I think someone shouted from next door at him. One at prisons next door was like, fucking mad or something. So he went, and he got the, stung himself up and went to go and put it on the light. So I just ran in, grabbed him and put him on the floor. It wasn't even a fight, to be fair. I was holding him down like with all my strength. And as I said, I was a little bit fatter then, so I could do it. And then, because people were watching in the bubble off the camera and they see me go in, so they come running on. We got him, moved him out, said, well, okay. And the manager says to me, Gaz, he says, Mark, come in here. So I'm going in thinking, he's going to say well done. And oh my God, he ripped me a new one. Because I ran in the cell on my own. He's right. But I had that instinct, mate. I never lost anyone on one of my shifts, so I weren't going to lose one.
Hope you're enjoying the podcast. There's a word from our sponsor, Shady Rays. Check them out. Gear up for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades and quick swap snow goggles that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers an unrivaled product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. Durable frames and world-class optics for all outdoor adventures. And if you're into winter sports, the quick swap snow lenses move effortlessly between full sun to low light environments.
And these shades hide a multitude of sins since having the little man.
Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost or broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. If you don't love your Shady Rays, exchange for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. The team always has your back with personal and fast support. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out an amazing deal for the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code Sean, SHAUN, for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Thanks for supporting our sponsor. Back to the podcast. Cheers. What was the worst harm you saw anyone do to themselves?
Mate, slashing the necks.
The necks?
Mate, I had one. I was actually a day off. I was at home. And my phone rang. I never leave my phone on after this, ever, when I go. Asking me, Mark, will you come in? Take this kid to hospital. He slashed his neck. So I'm like, yeah, okay. So by the time I got to jail, it was 2 o'clock in the morning. Went in his cell. Oh, God, there was more blood than I've ever seen in my life. All over the place. And the nurse was there, the night nurse. I won't talk about her. She used to wind me up. Ambulance come, took him to hospital. Massive gash in his neck, man. It was proper. And you know what it was over? I told you he smoked in them days. He'd asked the staff to pass him a Rizzler. And the staff had like, no, I'm not getting you. And that's why I did it. All for a Rizzler. I mean, break the rules, man. It's a Rizzler. Well, you won't do it now because it could be filled with Mamba, but in them days we didn't have. Got him to hospital and padding was up here, mate. Took him in, it's a funny bit though. Took him in, he went in resource and all. He said, you got to go for this. And they're trying to take blood off him. But he was a drug user as well, so his veins were all, tried his foot, everywhere. No. So this doctor says, right, I'll have to go in groin. So they're like this on his groin, and he's like, Doctor, I've been in prison 8 years, I won't go down there if I was you. Like, what? I was proper wetting my pants laughing at this lad. It's just like, he's in such a state, but he's like, if you go down there, mate, I'm not.
Wow.
But yeah, we've run in cells and there's just been blood everywhere. One of the lads I trained with, Ethan, I can mention his name, we was on weights. There was 2 of these on truck. We checked on him, so he was on an act. We checked on him, he slashed up, there's blood everywhere, all on the floor, everywhere. So, because he was 2 of us, and we still had keys and we weren't on night shift, we was just on weights. We opened the door, Ethan went in first, slipped, and slid right down the cell in all his blood. He was covered in blood. Next day, someone did Mamba and he spewed up everywhere, and he did the same. He ran in first and slipped in all his spew. But yeah, I've gone in, mate. I've got in one and I've come out covered in blood from like head to toe. My shirt wasn't white anymore. Holding the neck till the nurse got there and all. And
Did you save a few lives then?
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
Do you remember the first time you saved a life?
Yeah, I say one lad, he got a proper kicking. He was in a bad way, and do
you know what the background for that was?
It's a drugs. It was on the drugs wing, and and he brought stuff in, and he tried to get it off him, and
tried to extract it from him.
No, it wasn't a spooning. I've seen one of them. They're horrendous, mate. Oh my God!
Do you want to explain what a spooning is?
A spooning is where a prisoner comes in with drugs, inserted in the passage.
Yeah.
And the other prisoners know about it, and they actually get him on the floor, put a spoon into his and drag but it doesn't half cause some damage. The one I seen, he was just lay on the floor, there was just blood everywhere. He was screaming in agony. It destroyed his rectum and inside. And it weren't even that much. But we knew we did it, so we got dealt with. There's a few of them, mate. That was the one I witnessed. I've seen some horrific things in the prison service, but that was horrendous. It was but people say, well, like this is some officers, mate, and you used to annoy me. Well, he shouldn't have brought it in, then should have? I said, yeah, but he doesn't deserve that, does he?
Nobody deserves that.
But when I was in reception, we used to have to do the squat, and as a new officer, I had to do the look. It's like, and you can imagine, right, Sean, some of them have come in and they've been living rough for 3 or 4 days, so it wasn't a pretty sight. We had one lad, we just poking a little bit of paper. He fought like an animal to keep that. And when we got out, it was like the corner of an eighth piece of paper with Mamba on it. My God, did he fight. It's like every one of us was like pouring because he needed this little bit of Mamba. And this is what they were like, some of them. But we caught him like, one of them, he squatted and it just come out like snow with little bags of heroin and stuff. Then so it's not mine. Well, we put it up there then. One of them, he'd been for a nicking for something and he come back and he was gobbing off. So me and them ended up having a little chat in his cell. Got him to seg, they squatted him, and that was another one. All these bags of heroin just started falling out of his ass. And I still got a bollocking for fighting him, even though I'd stopped all them drugs coming up.
So if they get caught like that, do they get a new case?
Yeah, it goes to the judge. The judge will come in and deal with that.
And they could get a time added on for that,
yeah,
they?
The judge can do that in this country, yeah. But yeah, he did. He did as well. And he reported me to the police because he had a bruise on his face. And I actually had to go to the police station to be interviewed because this person had said I'd assaulted him. He had a massive bruise on his face. And I said to the police, I said, look at the size of my hands. How could I have done that? Anyway, we won't go any further into that.
So you said you saw some truly horrific things. What were they?
Slashing ups mainly. Like I say, I was fortunate I'd never seen a dead body when I was on my shift, but some of the slashing ups were horrendous. They was like, and the Mamba stuff, all the vomit and everything all over the place. It was a lot of it, especially when I was on the detox wing for 6 years. So we had a lot of people rattling. Because in them days, you didn't, I keep saying them days, it went that long ago. They'd come in and they wouldn't get any detox meds for 2 days till they seen a doctor. And if they came on a Friday, they wouldn't get anything till Monday. Nowadays, they get it in reception, they get methadone and stuff in reception. So we used to have a lot of rattlers on the wing.
And how do they present themselves? What's the side effects that they're showing?
Just like zombies. They just like, and we could only have single cells in our cell because you couldn't put 2 rattlers in the same cell. And you couldn't put a rattler in with a normal prisoner, could you? Because, mate, when there was 4 of us started on the detox wing at the same time. and it was known that it was smelly and blah blah blah. And as you go through that, they don't have sort of free. You go through the door, you can actually smell Mike Wing. Horrendous. I think I mentioned in the book Jo Corn. She was the female, but she was like our boss. We was all scared of her. She just looked at you and you're like, ooh. So we went on the wing and it's like, whoa, Jesus. So it's first day of it, we get the trolley, serve her. 4 of them fall asleep because they're off the nut. They fall asleep. The food was like, get them out. So we ended up doing the food, but we got so they was all like that. But it was my first. They were the experienced officers. I just started. So they're like, right, Mark, you do meds because you do. That was the thing. You have to do meds. So I'm like, yeah, okay. So I goes up, opens the gate, because we have the separate thing. It's like a bubble upstairs with a gate for each wing, so they don't all mix. Meds! And I'm like, what? And I just these like 30 odd people shuffling towards me like this, getting gone. I'm like, oh no, what have I done? The next day I went, there's 3 of them rattling on the floor by the meds gate. But you know what? After 6 years, you have to rag me off that. So I didn't want to come off that wing. I loved it. It was, I had a little sense of purpose because you'd see him come in and but about 4 months later they'd come back. But yeah, in them days, right, you have to put a torch down in the mouth to check that they'd not swallowed it. They'd swallowed it all, and that got stopped for human rights in the end. But, oh, mate, it was mad. It was like that bit of torch in the mouth and felt like a dentist. One of them he'd drink his methadone, and we caught him, he'd go down his cell, spew it up, and they'd all be like that, and he'd spew, all these little ratty people. And then he got a job in the kitchen.
What am I hearing here? I can't
Honest to God, mate.
My head just exploded when you said that.
Seriously. I walked in his cell.
Had his methadone, he spewed it out.
Yeah, he swallowed it.
Spewed it up.
And they're all in there, like, and he was in the sink.
In his sink, trying to get it.
And he was getting paid for that. There was one of them, he got one of his mates, he was a dick. Got one of his mates to set the fire alarm off when he was in meds, and he's pouching all his meds. So the nurse shouted us, because one of us was at the door, we're always at the door. And I was on with the lad, he was called Jamie. He was a monster, mate. No messing with Jamie. We ran in, and this alarm's going off. But luckily on our wing, we had 3 staff. So me and Jamie being up there, it was not a problem. She's like, all right, wait, Jamie, it's Adam. Sorry, Adam. He's a big man, manager, Adam. Brilliant bloke. He's like, right, strip off. He's like, you can't strip me off here. I was like, these are nurses, mate. Strip off. And as he pulled his pads on, all his meds started playing out. So we dropped him and got him off to sec. But they try all kinds, mate. But if you're an experienced officer, you know, it's a distraction, mate. And one had his brother kick off, start fighting, thinking we'd all run off. I just stood there going, yeah, get your meds, mate. It's not a problem.
I had a cellmate who was coming down off the brown and speedballs, and I never saw anything like it before in my life. His hair was falling out. He was sleeping with his eyes open.
Yeah.
And he was pooing himself.
Oh, mate.
And he went through hell.
Yeah, they do. And that's why we couldn't mix them, because there'd be shit everywhere, piss everywhere, spew, everything. And you got the methadone, mate, to change. It's like, phew. I think that's why they started letting them have it in reception. But that caused problems for us in reception then. It's like, it just moved to another department, really. But
in Arizona, there's no detox and no methadone.
Yeah. Wow. I can imagine them, because I had like 3-4 days of it. When they come in on a Friday, they didn't get out till Monday. And if the doctor rang in sick, it was Tuesday. We didn't have nurse prescribers or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was all on the doctor. And used to have to follow the nurses, like we were stalking the nurses. Used to follow him round when he was on the wing and stand at the door, because these would do anything to get drugged, mate. They'd grab a nurse, anything. I got called that, the nurse stalker, after a while, because I wouldn't leave them alone. But after I left, they're like, I wish you was there, because officers now just letting them on the wing and walking off. It's like, what? There's two things. They've got drugs. And some of these lads haven't seen a woman for 15 years, and you got a little nurse on her own. Why are you doing that? Why? This is what I mean, people forgetting it was a cat big.
Did you see any attempts to kidnap staff?
Yeah. Yeah. This is where I got my PTSD for that, what you just said. And because management had not warned us about this prisoner, and he shouldn't have even been in our jail. But
what was his background?
He was a female staff assaulter. He'd been categorised as Cat A. For some reason, he sent him to us. It's a bit like him has escaped. He shouldn't have even been in our jail. He was put him in a cell downstairs, but we didn't know about his previous because no one had told us. It's something I changed when I got to reception. I made sure I wrote on every file that went up to the wing. There's something women nowadays are going on him anyway because he was a danger to women. They go on. So I was with this young lady called Jade. I'd actually mentored her when she started. And she was that good. She was a really good officer. She would have made manager, mate, no problem. I asked for her to stay, if she could stay with me. So she said, yeah, of course, Matt. And we had a really good relationship on which she ended up being in charge because I'm a bit of a soft heart when it comes to women. So the setup on our wing was, we had all the long-termers who we got on the wing to clean it up, going back to that when it was smelly. So they were all downstairs. So I said to Jade, our plan, she locked the other side downstairs and I did both sides upstairs because, and then she could get on with it because I'm crap at paperwork, apart from when I'm doing act assessment. So I used to do that, and she used to do the paperwork while I was upstairs banging up. And this one day I was upstairs and this idiot was on the wing when Jade had already told him off because he wouldn't bang up properly at dinner time. But on our wing, a lot of the time, some of the orders say, yeah, we'll get him to bang up for you. But, so I'm like, you all right, Jade? Yeah. I'll get on with paperwork. So I'm upstairs and all of a sudden, Mark. So I'm like, shit. So I'm running downstairs. Jade's there. Well, Jade wasn't there. They took her off by the time I got downstairs. And I look on the floor and we got an old man on the wing, Clark, he's 72. He's not a drug addict, but he was like, we looked after him on the wing because he was old. He'd murdered, someone had raped his daughter. So we found him and murdered him and he got 17 years. Yeah. He's lay on the floor and I'm like, shit. I thought he was called Clark. He's died now, so. I thought Clark had been assaulted. And then I seen his other lad, Eddie. He was like this as well. So I grabbed Eddie and I threw him to one side. I ripped all his shoulder open. And I seen Clark, he was lying on top of this kid. It's like, he's just assaulted Jade. I'm like, what? And my fire was up there, so I got Clark, I was laying into him, mate. I'll admit it. And the prisoners actually all went and stood by the camera, so I couldn't be seen. And I was proper going mad, because Jade was like my little daughter, my daughter. And then all the officers turned up, because someone had pressed the alarm. And then they give me a couple of minutes in him as well. Then carted him off to Seg. I went in, and I seen Jade's face, and it was proper mad. What he'd done, he tried to drag her in the cell. She was feisty, so she fought, so he smashed her head against the wall, the cell wall. Mate, it was... I kept seeing it for months and months after every time I went to sleep.
Did he get her in the cell, or did someone intervene?
No, because old man Clark, he jumped in.
Good.
I went back. They was taking him down to Seg, and I just fucking ran after him. And John Bratt, I mentioned him in my notes. He's a brilliant manager, mate. I've known Bratt from when he was an officer. He's a governor now of a non-state, a VP jail, funnily enough. I went, well, no. I said, yeah, Bratt, and I threw my badge and I said, well, let me out, I'm going to kill him. I've just seen Jake's face. And we had two officers there, Jake I know we called him Meatloaf. He was a big lad with a big long ponytail. And he's like, you two, deck him. And he had to see an army and drag me off to smoking up. But I just kept seeing her face in my sleep and everything. I was proper suffering. Jade went in the police, and she's a semi-professional footballer now. She's like laughing, but I suffered for a long time with it.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I lost the plot for a bit after that, Sean. I got
Understandable.
I thought I'd let Jade down. I thought it was my fault. Even when Jade said, Mark, you're being a dick, it's part of the job. I said, no, it's not. I was looking after you, I let it happen. And then I was like, every fight on the house, get out of my way. I was jumping in, and I was fighting. Luckily, I had a good governor at the time, and he got it. I mean, one time, this lad he punched a female officer, and I just lost my plot, and I was actually punching him. And I went up to see, obviously, it's all on camera, isn't it? He called me up and said, Mark, what's going on with you? And I told him. He said, well, it's a good job you were just getting meds out of his mouth, and innit, and I'll get back to work. And that was it. But I wasn't, mate. I'd lost it. I ended up going to therapy and everything. They paid for it. They were really good. It was a good. Little was it to know it was going to come back.
It would have been a lot. Later. It would have been a lot worse, wouldn't it, if the old man hadn't jumped in?
The funny thing is, all the governors were coming out wing, giving Clark a burn and looking after him and everything. And I went in and went, cheers for that, Clark. He said, what? Cheers for what? He said, you know, if it was you, Mark, I wouldn't have done it. I would have done it because she's a girl. Fuck, you know, Clark. But that's an old school prisoner. Because even when I started, if anyone took the female officer, mate, we had to get to prison before the lads did. It's not like that now, mate. But a lot of the girls are proper hard, mate. They don't care. They'll go in. We've got one. She's an she was a medic in the army in Afghanistan and all that. She's not bothered, mate. She'll go in. But I'd rather go in with her and a few more girls than some lads, to be honest. that one I was telling you about with the negotiation, he was gone. We could have had him. He could have ended in 3 hours. I earned 800 quid, mate. I don't care. Carry on. But yeah, it's mad. But he shouldn't have been on the wing. He shouldn't have been in the jail. Like I said, him who's escaped now should have been in a Cat A, not a Cat B, and he should never have been working in the kitchen. But we didn't know all this till after. And and when I went in reception, I made sure it was wrote and everything. Dangerous to females or whatever. But then we had potential Cat A forms come out, so it's very rare. We got one slip through. But if they'd have only told us, I wouldn't let her lock him up. I'd have had a fight with him because she was proper like. But I said, no, mate, because he did it. And I would have put him upstairs as well out of the way. Oops, sorry. But no, and it proper burned me up. I mean, I've been in the army. I work with abused kids, all that, and that was the worst. But like the therapist said, yeah, it's just the last bit, that's the last straw for your head, and it just popped.
Yeah.
It could have been anything. But honestly, mate, if anyone said a name, I'd burst out crying. I went and worked on the therapeutic, and we had to do this course. Like the worst thing, and I mentioned it, I didn't even finish the paragraph, and I was gone. And that's when I thought, I need help. But yeah, but then it was bad. The Mad Manx on, so after I had my therapy, it was all right when I went back.
So you started out then in the comms room. You were in the military, then you were helping the surviving kids.
Yeah.
Then you come into the prison service in the comms room. And then ITC, what does that mean?
That's the training course.
Oh, that was the training course?
The initial training course, yeah, what I went into. It was, I was the oldest person on that course. And when they started doing this stupid thing, I used to tell them off, like, grow up, get on with you. And he still ripped me about it now. He used to annoy me. But yeah, I was there, that's the ITC, but I was on about the teeth and that.
Does coming from the army give you an advantage coming into the prison service?
You'd think so, but on our course, I mean, there's a few of us. Moss, he's a manager now. He was in the army. Jez, he's an AD now. He was from the army. So we had that in us. But then we had two other lads who was in the army who'd come straight out of the army, straight into the prison service. And we like, it's a bit of a bad idea that, you need to get used to it. So they passed everything. They went on the wing for the first day. There was a fight on the wing. Two of them didn't come back after dinner.
Oh.
They couldn't deal with it. So it's that thing where you need a break before you come into prison service, because
it's triggering.
Yeah, because in the army, you see violence, but 99% of the time you don't. Where in prison, especially then, it was a constant. There was alarms going off left, right, and centre. 5, 6 alarms a day. You was just going. But apparently, this lad had come out and just smashed a cup over someone's head, because he could have porcelain cups then. They didn't come back. And they went home at dinner time, never come back.
Wow.
So it's not always the way, but I'd say 70% of the officers where I were ex-army. Even females, ex-army females were in there.
What was it like to graduate from the ITC and spend your first day at work? Can you remember that?
Yeah, my first day was the meds day.
Or the meds?
Yeah, and the smell. But we got it cleaned up in the end. And But we used to have to stand at the gate and announce the prisoners to the nurses. So I'd be like, Mr. Attwood! And he'd go in, and then we'd be like, with torch. But we had it wrapped up, mate. And to be fair, it was easy to keep control of the wing, because a lot of them were detoxing. Plus, we had good wing workers who wanted to keep that wing clean because they were living there. And they were going to be there for a long time unless they messed up, or until they got the Cat Cs.
Did you select the wing workers?
Yes, we did. We did in them days, yeah.
What was the criteria?
Well, Joanne did it. She just went round, and all long-termers we got, like proper prisoners. And they come on the wing, and honestly, mate, within 2-3 weeks, we was one of the cleanest wings in jail. We kept getting awards for it.
Would you say the long-termers are the best behaved because they buckled down,
Yeah,
realising they got a
definitely.
serious amount of time?
Definitely. It's some of them, like that one I was on about with the pudding, when I told you before. He was a long-termer, but he was just an idiot. He didn't want to. He was just anti-establishment. And some of them are, but most of them aren't. And the ones we had were brilliant. I mean, one of them, Andy, he was he had a gym. And he had all the detoxes out every morning, doing exercise around the gym and running around. They loved it. And he said, this is what you need to stop taking drugs. And he used to run them round.
That's
Brilliant,
amazing.
mate. Yeah,
That is
him and his
amazing.
brother, yeah. And they were doing press-ups and sit-ups and all that. And then we got gym equipment on the wing.
Yeah.
And he'd be organising all that with him. It was brilliant, mate. He was getting out of it because he was doing what he loved. And they were getting out of it. And we were just sat there like, oh, cup of tea. And we very rarely had trouble. But when we did, we had to deal with it. A lot of it was people bringing stuff in. The monkey dust one was the worst.
What was that?
Do you know what monkey dust is?
Is it some kind of designer drug like spice?
Yeah, but it's like, makes you mega paranoid. Like, mega. It's horrible stuff. So, a few days earlier, they called us in the office, the Mike Wing staff, and the nurses said, we'd like to say well done, because we think the wing's drug free. And we're like, nah, it's a prison, mate. But we took it. So we had this lad come in. He used to be a regular, and we'd not seen him for a while. And he turned up. So I am detoxing, so I have to go on the detox wing. And because of his history, they fell for it. So they let him on the wing. Within the next day, we had, oh mate, it was horrendous. We had, me and this manager, she's only the same size as me, she's too little. We spent all day running in cells, getting shanks off them, trying to cut their ears off, the noses off.
What?
The willies, everything.
Willies?
Mate. We was walking around just like butchers dripping with blood.
You mean that they were doing that to themselves, not each other?
No, to themselves, because he was that paranoid. One lad, he was one of Orderlies. I got on great with him. The day before, I was sat with him, because he was from Manchester, he was a City fan, and I'm a United fan, so we used to have this banter going on. he'd had this monkey dust, and he had it in his head that I was going to stab him. So he barricaded in his cell. I ain't coming out while that Mark's in here, he's going to stab me, he's getting all the orders to stab me and all that. Man. So, but we was dealing with all this other stuff. Do you know what? The governor at the time gave me a £10 voucher for that day. Still got it at home, so shove it up his arm. It was, honest mate, it was horrendous. I hope he's got it. But we found out on the Saturday who brought it in. So me and my colleague took a bit of a law into our own hands, and we didn't beat him up, but we terrorised him. And we put him in the disabled cell and flooded it and just left him in there and all kinds of stuff.
And was he high on the dust when that happened?
No, that was it. Everyone else was. He wasn't. And we had him in there for hours. We forgot to feed him. Oh, no, he refused his dinner. At about 5 o'clock, reception ring up and they go, "Oh, can you bring such and such down? He's been bailed." We're like, oh, unbelievable. So I went to his cell and I'm like, right, a few choice words. "Come on, you've been released." Now he thought it was part of the wind-up because we make him suffer. But I said, however bad I feel what he's done, I would never mess with people's freedom. So he believed me and he let him go.
What were the primary methods of them bringing stuff in to the prison?
When I was in reception, Sean, it was up there.
That's where they store it, yeah.
Yeah.
But how did they get it into the prison?
Through reception.
So prisoners coming in got it inside themselves.
This is what he'd done, because he knew he'd make a bomb. He purposely got arrested so he could come back to jail.
Gotcha.
And that was happening a lot.
I saw things about where they're paying people to get arrested to take the packages in, and then the dealers make thousands.
Oh, God, yeah. And when smoking got banned, that was, oh, mate. One lad come in, and we searched him, because we was getting bit, and he had tobacco all around his belt, like packed, and so we're like, "Yeah, mate." He said, "You've got a two choice, we take it off you, or you give it us. If we take it off you, you go to sec. If you give it us, you get put it in the bin, and you get, you give it us, so you're good." He took his belt off, and he just broke down in tears. I'm like, "Yeah, it's not that bad, Jesus." "Oh, mate, they've been threatening his family, his parents, his kids, to bring this tobacco in, and we found it." So he didn't know what to do. He used to get the clothes packages in. The belt and the bath gowns thingy, packed with tobacco. Some of them were ingenious, mate. I did one. I just passed my X-ray course, so I was proper on it. And this parcel come, and it had a thing on saying it had come from another prison. So they must have thought, "Oh, we won't check it," but yeah, Keno, because I've just passed. I'm like, "Get it on." Mate, they had these tins of tuna, sweet corn coming through, all sealed up. And you know what? They were packed with tobacco and drugs and SIM cards. They must have took hours doing it. I was like, wow. Yeah, but yeah, everything was coming in. The clothes were coming in. Nowadays, it's the mamba. The mamba's on the clothes and the socks. And
when they take the mamba, are they acting up like they are on the monkey dust?
Monkey dust is horrendous.
That's
mate.
the worst.
Oh, to me, it was the worst. Yeah.
You got a gang of them all doing it at the same time.
Oh, they're just paranoid, and they just think they need to chop their ears off because they're hearing voices and
they start doing it as well.
Yeah, and the willies and everything. It's horrendous, mate.
I saw some of that. I've written about it in my book Hard Time, about when they got a lot of meth and they were up for days on end on the meth, and then they all start turning on each other, getting paranoid, thinking they're setting each other up.
Yeah, like that lad. The day before, we sat having a laugh with him, having a smoke in his cell with him, having a brew, talking about football.
Yeah.
And then the next thing, he hates me, I'm going to stab him. I came in I had Sunday off, came in on the Monday. As soon as he heard my voice, he shit up. "I'm not having him coming near me." You have to go and move him because he was still paranoid I was going to stab him.
Yeah, loads of people moved out on the meth
mate,
because they thought like things were going to happen to them in the night. They were going to get attacked.
Yeah,
and
he thought it was me. I'm like, what? I might come and kick your head in, mate. I'm not going to stab you.
I hope you're enjoying the podcast. I've got some exciting news to announce. Michael Francis is coming back to tour the UK in 2024. The Remade Man Tour, the Michael Francis story. Michael Francis, once named one of the 50 most significant mob bosses in the USA by Fortune magazine, and a former member of the notorious Colombo crime family, will take you deep into the world of organised crime, sharing captivating tales and insights into the mafia's past, present and future. Join us for an unforgettable evening with Michael Francis, the original Goodfella, as he exclusively sits down with myself, Sean Attwood. With me as the host, there's going to be a no-holes-barred exploration of Michael Francis's life, including his numerous arrests and jury trials that ultimately led to his pleading guilty to a federal racketeering charge, a 10-year prison sentence, and $15 million in restitution. You will have the unique opportunity to ask questions during an audience Q&A session, making this event a must-see for true crime enthusiasts and anyone curious about the underworld. Don't miss this explosive in-conversation with Michael Francis. Live on stage in the UK, this exclusive in-person event will be held in various locations in the UK, Ireland and Scotland. Link in the description box below this video if you want to grab yourself a ticket. Back to the podcast. Cheers. Did you encounter any staff bringing it in?
Oh, God, yeah. Mate, don't. We had one girl. Oh, she'd even let them cut an hole in the exercise yard fence. So when they got throwovers, he could go through and get it and come back in. But naive Harry here didn't believe that. It should be set up. So I represented her as a union rep. So I'm not having this now. Stitching her up because she was a bit of a gobshite like me. So I think I'm like someone setting her up because they're doing it and they're trying to blame her. And I went through months and months of this. And then near the end I thought, she's turning up in a brand new car. Like, hang out. But her mum and dad were well off. So part of it you're like. So anyway, it goes on for ages. We're doing statements and meeting her and we're having these meetings and all kinds of stuff. I'm determined that they're setting her up. So goes in for a disciplinary. And I'm sat there and I'm giving my union bit out to the governor. This is the governor that helped me out when I lost my head a little bit. So we had a bit of... So John's... I said his name, but he's listening and he's like, okay. So he said, well, we've got all these statements, even off prisoners saying how they're scared of you and, you know, you're getting people stabbed up because they owe this. No, it's not me. So I'm going, yeah, where's your proof, John? Have you got proof? Is it prisoners? Because a lot of prisoners say that to, like, I had one do it to me because I was strict. So he wanted to get me off the wing. So I can tell you about that later if you want. But, right the way through, disciplinary, the last day. So we have a break and we go back in. And John goes, right, and he gets his file out. Mate, the money that was going into her account, it was from all over the country. Like payments, 30 grand, 20 grand.
30 grand?
Oh, mate. It was, and John said, later on, he said, I could see you like going like this, moving away from her when I showed you that. And I felt so stupid because I'd stuck up for this girl. Oh, mate, wow, unbelievable.
We interviewed an ex-officer who was getting paid £500 per package and he could bring in up to 3 packages a day. But 30 grand?
Mate, that was one payment. And they were coming from everywhere, all over the country, like Newcastle, Portsmouth, everywhere. And so John says to her, I'll tell you what, Sarah, you go out of the room with Mark now and you come back in with an excuse where all this money's come from and we'll save your job. But by this time, I'm like, nah, she's a bent person. So I just went out and just walked away. I just went and had a brew. I didn't even speak to her. I'm like, you know, I'm tainted enough now. We went back in and John says, right, Sarah, where'd you get this money from? You know what she said? Overtime. So John's like, right, you're dismissed. The police had been and took her computers and everything out of her house.
Did she get prosecuted?
Yeah, she did. So he said to me, right, Mark, walk her off. So I had to walk her off. And she turned round to me. I said, mate, don't talk to me. Just piss. Go away. I don't want to know, because I hate that. That lad you had on was bringing stuff in. I'd have kicked his head in. Seriously, I don't. My life's in danger because you're getting 500 quid, mate. Go away. But if you're listening, I don't care. So John calls me up the next day, and I'm thinking, does he think I'm involved? Because I was supporting him. And I walked in, and John was a big Man United fan. And he said, come on, have a brew. And he got me down with his United coasters and all that. He goes, do you think I was a bit too harsh with her yesterday? I said, no, I don't think he was, mate. I think he was actually giving her a chance. I said, but I've got one question, John. And he says, what? He says, can I be on her overtime rate? Get out. Drink your coffee and get out.
I got this has made me want to ask you this question then, Mark. If guards are getting paid up to 30,000, officers are getting paid up to 30,000, how are they ever going to stop? How are they ever going to stop the drugs getting in if there's that much money involved?
Well, they're not, are they? And you know what we did, Sean? To put a full security raid on that wing.
Yeah.
What she was on. 300 grams worth of phones and drugs they'd found on the wing. It was flipping everywhere. And I'm not blaming staff again, because most of my mates were 100% good officers. But, you know, they have a fridge on the wing to keep the salads and stuff in. There was 2 boxes in there, Tupperware boxes, with 3 phones in them. So the staff are not checking the fridge, are they?
So one staff member can flood an entire prison?
God, yeah. And yeah, she cut an hole in the fence. So when she was on, people were throwing over for them on that side of prison, and they were getting out the fence and bringing it on.
How did it come to light that she was in the mix?
Prisoners.
Snitching.
As usual, yeah. Because they get jealous because they're bringing it in for someone else, not them. So they grass them up, they put letters in the box.
Gotcha.
99, a lot of times it's true, a lot of times it isn't. They're just trying to get rid of it off the wing.
Were there any other staff members who were apprehended?
Loads, mate. Loads. We went through a phase where nurses were doing it. Officers.
There was a nurse doing it where I was at for the Mexican Mafia.
Yeah, there was loads of, mate, we had a phase where it was every other day.
Every other day?
Yeah, we had one female officer who, you might have seen it in the papers, she actually started having an affair with this prisoner. He got moved to the Cat D down the road. She went with a car and helped him escape. There was one officer, he was on TC, he got 8 years. He was bringing thousands of it in. He'd been doing it for years, bringing it in.
How did he get detected?
I think they got some intel, and like they searched his home and everything. There was a female officer. She was in the paper. They went round and opened the door. She's there in a dressing gown, and the ex-prisoners in the house. She was bringing it in. A lot of TC.
So there's romantic relationships.
Oh God, yeah. It used to be called Lovegate.
Lovegate.
Yeah, God. When I first started, it was rife. One of the managers spent thousands on this wedding and found out his missus was shagging a prisoner.
She was a staff member
as well, yeah. Yeah, Lovegate used to call it, because that many prisoners were getting extra tuition off the girl.
So how did that play out then when he found out his missus was involved with a prisoner?
He split up. She got sacked, and he became so anti-prisoner. He got sacked. He was a manager. He got sacked in the end because he CNR'd somebody, and he made them walk down to Seg.
CNR?
Yeah, like restrained them, twisted them up. Made him walk on the stones all the way down to Seg. So it was when John took over, because this manager was part of the previous governor's clique. So thought he could get away. John had him out the door. He said, I'll support my staff 99%, but 1% I'm not. He became very anti-prisoner. He wouldn't think twice of smashing them up. Which to me, I've seen odd stuff, but for the reason, and to me it is genuinely the last resort, because I tend to use that a lot.
And there was a guard you called the Shagger, an officer who was getting
Sam's watching this.
getting together with another officer.
Oh, Chris the Shagger, yeah.
It's America they call guards.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's hard, yeah.
Yeah.
Chris the Shagger, yeah. Oh, God, he was well at it, mate. But that's what it was like. There was one, I'm not sure if it was his, but we used to have the police next to us in the office next to us. And one of them was there, she was really nice, and he kept going in there and going in, and all of a sudden she's pregnant. So we never know. But yeah, when I started in comms, that was, yeah, because we used to be 2 up in the start. And he was always on, was worked at that, he was on shift with this young girl. But I didn't know him properly then, so I didn't clock on. He always put me with Ken, comms Ken, we'll get about it. And one day I come in on early and the chair was broke. And I'm like, what have you been up to? He went, yeah. She said, why do you think she goes home early every night when you come in? And he'd been banging her on the chair. But she was with another officer as well. It was rife, mate. We had one where he was in comms because he'd been assaulted, so he had to have some time away. And we had the cameras on the route. And he seen his missus all over this member of staff from the gym. So he went off on one downstairs and it was all over, mate. Staff, prisoners, they were all at it. We even had a male-on-male incident.
Amongst staff?
No, male staff and a prisoner.
And what's the outcome of that? Because in Arizona, it's considered a sexual assault even if it's consensual because you're a custodian of the state.
Yeah, but it's a private jail, mate, so it's get out the door and leave it there.
Because they don't want to damage their statistics by having incidents.
Yeah.
So if you catch 2 prisoners in a romantic relationship, did they get written up?
Yes. We had one, he was transgender, he was having the change. He used to walk around, he'd give him women's clothes and everything. He was, it wasn't me. One of my colleagues did a check on the cell and he was getting like, and it's like by the ugliest person you've ever seen in your life, mate. This prisoner was the most ugliest person I've ever met. And he was like proper, so they both got moved out. But she was, it's comical really, but she was really going for it. She was like, she had skirts, high heels, a wig and everything. It was, but
did you encounter many trans prisoners?
Yeah, a few of them,
And what's your attitude towards that? Because in Arizona, they go where, whatever they're born with is where you go. We've interviewed Sarah Jane Baker, who believes they should have separate prisons for trans. Because if you put them into women's, there's been situations, hasn't there?
Look at that, what I just said.
Yeah.
Because she was a woman, and it was on the VP wing as well.
Yeah.
Some of them they deal with it really well, but I think it should be separate, and just for them really, because if that's their choice, then that's their choice. They should feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Then you get like that male prisoner who went and told prison.
Terrible, yeah.
So but we've had a few. We even had one. It was a few months back. Irish, and I swear down, mate, when she walked through that door, if you didn't know, you wouldn't have known. And she had this dead soft Irish accent as well, and it was like, wow. And then we had another one who come in, full beard. I'm a woman. He's like, yeah, you're blagging it, mate. No. And we processed him and never seen him in the women's clothes again while he was in the jail. It was funny. But this Irish one, he was, if you wouldn't have known, you wouldn't have known. Because it was just like...
I met a few who'd actually cut their own man parts off. Did you ever encounter anything like that?
We've had some who wrapped the wire, it's like the wire around the willies until it died.
Oh, I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, he was a bit nuts.
That wasn't trying to convert to a female.
No, I've had
that was just mental health.
No, I've
probably.
had trying to cut the willies off on the monkey dust and stuff, but I've not.
So did you have to did the doctors have to sew things back up?
Oh, some of them, there's blood everywhere, Sean. And we had to go in and get the shank off them. That's what I was saying, was covered in blood. Going another one's like this, sawing his ear off and ending with nose off. And
Did you ever get bit by any of them?
I've been bit, yeah.
Was that a worrying story?
No, I didn't worry about it, mate. But the nurses were like, you need to, because I'd had my hepatitis jabs. But obviously I didn't know there was different kinds. There was one lad. We talked about hepatitis. Me and his female Steph, we was on weights, and this lad had cut up like proper bad, his arms. So they asked us if we minded doing some overtime, take him to the hospital. I'm like, yeah, no worries. So we'll get him in, and he's the same. He'd slashed himself up because he wouldn't get him Rizzler. Some of these staff, like, they don't use sense. Give him a Rizzler, mate. It's not one. Anyway, we're in the thing, and I'm a bit cheesed off with this. So I'm proper telling him, I said, mate, you're a waste of space, aren't you? I said, you've got this girl there who's got a kid at home, wants to get home. You've got these 2 ambulance drivers who could be helping someone who's in real need. I said, and you're cutting your arm like that because you've not got a Rizzler, so you're pathetic. And he goes, I'll show you pathetic. And he ripped this bland and started squirting me and Steph with blood. So I'm like, you what? So I jumped on him. The SO who was escorting the ambulance, he goes, assistance needed at the back of visits, because that's where we was, at the back of visits going on. All the staff come running down and ran into visits, and I'm fighting with his prison. But I was cuffed to him as well, so I only had one arm. The inside of the ambulance looked like someone had been shot. And there was a big trail of blood all the way to Seg. The Seg manager, Ryan, bollocked me, said, I've just cleaned this for, and look what you've done. But yeah, he got, he was trying to bite us. And Steph got blood in her mouth. She had to go through all jabs and everything. It was horrible. But yeah, I've been bit on my arm and on my shoulder. But that was just in a brawl, if you like.
You said there was a situation where, because you were strict, a prisoner tried to get rid of you.
Oh, God, yeah. What we used to do on the detox thing, they only got 28 days to detox. Then we had to move them off. So it was like a transient wing. So people were coming on and off all the time, apart from the long-termers. So this lad had finished his detox. I was like, right, pack your bag, you're moving to another wing. I'm not moving anywhere. Well, in them days, if they didn't move, they got twisted up and put in Seg. And then from Seg, they got moved to the new wing. So they were going to go anyway. And he said, mate, why are you being such an idiot? Pack your stuff, you're going. I'm not. I said, right, you're going. Pack your stuff, I'll come and pack it for you. Now, half of them were like, if he packs the stuff, he'll find stuff. So that was my big thing. He said, well, go out there and I'll pack your stuff, not a problem. I'll lock you in another cell and we'll pack your stuff. And you could see him going, oh shit. So anyway, he packed his stuff and he's coming off at me and he's proper gobbing off at me. Even the guard was like, don't talk to Mark like that, he's just moving you, shut up. So we're going out and he comes out of the house, he's still going and I'm just ignoring him, he's just a little shit, I don't care. Gets to the bottom and the route was on. So the Oscar one's there, the manager, like running the prison. And even he says, mate, shut up. I said, I've got a route to run, hurry up. So we get down to house lot 1. I get him to the cell and a lot of the lads know me and they're like, oh, Mark, is he a BP? And he wasn't. So I'm like, no, is he battled the BP? He just finished his detox, moving off the wing. Put him in the cell. He got back. Jez was saying to me after, what was all that about? So I was telling him, I said, fucking idiot, didn't want to move. And I got back to the wing and all the lads were laughing. So, oh, Mark, you always get him, you don't, you know. I said, yeah, but I couldn't be bothered this time. 10 minutes later, code red, Delta Wing, cell, such and such. I'm like, shit, that's where I've just stuck him. Got there and he'd proper been stabbed up, like proper bad. And at the time, we had a governor that was all prisoners, not staff. He didn't care about us. He's the one I said about when we lost the wing that he thanked the work staff, not us. So he says to the prisoner, to the governor, that Mark Davies told them I was a nonsense, a VP, and that's why I've had my head kicked in. So straight away, governor suspends me.
Oh.
Didn't even ask my side of the story. Didn't even, like now, they'd investigate it. And then if they found out, I've been suspended a few times. Got suspended. Fortunately, you remember when England got knocked out by Iceland in that European? I was off for all that time. So eventually he admitted it, that he owed them money and that's why they stabbed him up. But he wanted to get rid of me, so I've had letters put in a box from prisoners, and it's just because I was straight with them, I won't give them what they wanted. But I'd give them what they're entitled to, so don't get me wrong. And I was dead straight with them. If someone asked me for something, I'd say, listen mate, I'll try my hardest, and if I can't, I can't. And in the end, they believed me, because if I said I couldn't get it, I'd try. And I'd always go back and tell them to the face, sorry mate, I couldn't get it. Where other officers wouldn't do that, they'd like wait till they're locked up, say, we can't get it. Or when they put them on report, they'd wait till they're banged up and slide it under the door. Like, coward. I used to go and say, listen mate, I've just nicked you for that. And half of them appreciate it. Even when you've twisted some up, the next day they'll be like, all right, man, I know you're only doing your job. Because it's not, a lot of times it's not, I'm not saying every time it's not personal, but sometimes it's got to be done.
There was a saying where I was at, the officers would tell you if you ask them for something, I'll get right on that. Yeah. You'd never see him again.
But I was a man of my word, mate, and that's why a lot of prisoners got on with me. Because they knew they couldn't. But then the other way, it's everywhere you went, especially in reception, when I worked, it's everywhere. Oh, Mark! And it just got a bit much in the end, but I never stopped doing it. If I can get it, I'll get it. If you're entitled to it, I'll get it for you. Or I'll get you a lot of lads, I got phone calls after the money, let them pop in the office, make a phone call because they had no money. Mm-hmm. Things like that. It's just little things. And prisoners, I mean, yeah, I've had prisoners back me up. Tell prisoners to shut up, basically. I mean, one of it was in my face, and I must have gone pale. So this prisoner, you're shitting yourself, go, you've gone pale. And this lad walked past, I said, no, that means he's getting mad, mate. I'd move if I were you. Like, but that's what I got. A lot of big gangster men are like, Mark. When I walk in, half of them I don't even know. Like, Mark, old man. He used to call me the old man and everything. It's like, it was brilliant. And that's because I was always honest with him. I'd never, like, the old days, put an app in. But now it's all done on they've got a little thing in the little computer in the cell now where they can order the canteen and everything. Like, what's all that about? Because where I worked, and I was like 3 at the time, they had showers in the cells and everything. It's like,
wow.
And yeah, that's why we nearly had major riots when they decided to move the VPs, who were on House Lot 2, to House Lot 3, and move all the lads out of House Lot 3 to the 2. First of all, they were VPs, so yeah. Secondly, why are they getting showers in the cells and we're not? I mean, that was lots of fights, proper fights, because they were like 2 in a cell and stuff like that. So we weren't moving 1, we were moving 2. Worst was these 2 lads from Manchester. I was a bit proud of them. I was next door, so I knew they were moving people, but I had my own wing to run with. But the alarm went, so we all ran round. I ran up the wing, and these new officers were all stood leaning against the fence, the railings. So I'm like, what's going on? And I looked, and it was like, these 2 monks were proper fighting. They weren't, no, they're not giving in, we're not moving. So I'm like, well, so I just jumped in. It was like a rugby scrum, just everyone piled on. It was like, pile on. So we piled on, and I didn't even talk. I didn't even use negotiating, and it was just a scrap, mate. It was no. So we all piled on. Eventually, we got them. So we're coming out, and as I'm coming out, because I didn't escort them down, because I was just walking back to my wing. It's just another day for me. I'm not a glory hunter, mate. So I come up, and Bratty's coming up, and he says, "What are you doing? What was you doing in there?" Because in Stoke, they call everyone old for some reason. I took offence at that when I first started. I thought he was calling me old. But, what are you doing there, old? I said, I was helping them. He said, and then they were stood at the railings. Why don't you tell them to go in? I said, well, first of all, I'm not a manager, so I'm not telling them now. And secondly, I shouldn't have to tell them what they're doing, watching. They got moved off the house lot the next day. But that's how it was, mate. We're getting these new officers and they didn't know what to do. My mate got proper stabbed up on Christmas Day.
Over what?
I mean, proper. Like, you're lucky he weren't dead. He just missed in his vein and they went in his eye and they missed his eye by that. And the 2 officers on the wing with him were stood downstairs like that.
And what was that over?
Because this lad was pissed up, drunk, been on the hooch. And you know what, Sean? Normally he was an all right prisoner, but he was on the hooch. So Jay said, I said his name now, get behind your door. So he starts giving out to Jace. No, I'm on the wrong story there. The one that stabbed Jace was, sorry. But that happened another time. But this on Christmas, this lad, he just wouldn't go behind his door. So Jace was a no-nonsense officer, like old school officer. He's like, you are going behind your door. And we're allowed to push him in. But with this spear, the push is quite hard, to be honest. So he went in, and then Jace moved away, and he just went at him and stabbed him in the eye, and went to slash his neck. But an officer from another wing, Morgan, came running on, and he put his arm, so he got a slash down his arm, but he didn't get the neck. You know, he got done. He's been done for attempted murder.
Was he hooched up, that one?
No, he was just a dick. Sorry. But this is what I'm saying, the officer just stood there. No one went to help Jay, she was bleeding. Morgan wouldn't have come on, and he got his neck slashed. Morgan had to have time off, mate. He was suffering with it. Jace was off for a long time. But we had a collection for him and let him go on holidays. But he's a good mate, man. We and him worked on Mike Wing together for like ages. We had it tight, we had it like proper discipline on the wing and everything. But he still got, I mean, we got attacked by a lad with one leg once.
What?
He went for me, yeah, me and Jace.
Did he grab his fake leg?
Yeah. Me and the nurse was there with him. So me and Jay were stood outside, and he started proper abusing the nurse. So we're not having that. We never had that. You abuse a nurse, mate, you're in trouble. So we went in, and we're like, don't, you shouldn't abuse a nurse. And he's like, what are you going to do about it? So like, we'll twist it up, mate. Next thing, leg comes off, and he's like that, running out there like that. And Jay just clubbed him to the floor, and we twisted him up. And mate, for months, I couldn't walk around the jail without officers hopping and going, come on, man. Piss off, man. He's another one with a false leg. There's two more with false legs, mate. One day I was on the wing, and I was in the office upstairs. It was a Saturday, so everyone's out. And I'm like, Mark, is there a fight? So I'm like, oh, God's sake, I just made a brew. I'm like, go! Because I'm a bit of a coffee addict and I posh coffee and everything. So I'm running down, like, and I run in, and he's, oh mate, the funniest sight I've ever seen. So there's two people like me and you are now. One of them only had one leg. So to make it fair, they were both sat in chairs punching each other like this. Like, oh my God, I've never seen anything so fucking mad.
Wow.
I didn't even nick him, mate. I couldn't nick him. It's like, first of all, that young lad was being fair because he had a wooden leg. He had no leg. And secondly, the man with no leg was winning. It's like, I said, I'm not even going to nick you for it, mate. And every time that lad with the leg coming, or the other lad, because he was on the detox, he said, oh, remember that fight, Mark? I'm like, mate, I'll never forget it. And the lad with one leg said, you know, having this one leg's brilliant, Mark. He says, what do you mean? He said, I can go get trainers. You know, they have them outside, just one. I can just rob one trainer. I'm laughing. Shut up, man. I've seen him a few times, mate. Oh, mate, that was the funniest thing. I mean, honestly, I'd never laughed so much in my life. Like I say, I couldn't even nick him or report him for anything. It was so funny. And he was just having a one-on-one, but he was sat in chairs. Another one, we had a manager, massive he was, like proper big lad. We had to twist this lad up, took him in down to seg, and he was still kicking off, so they had to figure for him. It's quite a painful thing. They cross your leg over and someone lies on the leg like that. But Neil did it, didn't he? Big, like 25 stone, big man.
Yeah.
So Neil's on him, snaps, leg goes flying. So Neil's panicking, oh my God, I've ripped his leg off. And he turned around, we're all pissing ourselves laughing because we know it was a false leg. And Neil was like, yep, he's chasing us down the wing throw. And then we turned round and the security man is just playing cricket with the leg. It's these little things, mate, it's so funny. But yeah, when I got attacked by the leg, it was ages before I lived that one down.
So Mark, what were your other suspensions?
I got suspended for 3 months because of that lad. I got suspended for, my own fault. I walked out with the keys, the prison keys once. Like, I walked out. I only got about 50 yards up, and I thought, shit, turn around and come back. But it is what it is.
That's automatic suspension, is it?
Yeah, but mind you, the governor at the time is retired now, so probably say I got suspended. I went home. I'd only been home about 2 hours. Phone rings. Mark, it's Martin. I said, Martin, don't worry, you're not going to get sacked. See you tomorrow. Put the phone. Because I'd just done like a 16-hour shift. I was just tired.
Yeah.
And someone distracted me, and I've been doing the job 12 years. Never walked out with my keys. It's just that one-off thing. I got a little suspension for telling the new governor to shove a job up her arse and threw me card off.
What was the backstory to that?
Right, we had this new governor. I mean, she was a brilliant governor, mate. Don't get me wrong. A lot of things she did were brilliant. But me and her just had a personality clash. It was just one of them things. She's a bit controlling, and I'm not. No. Anyway, so I was working in healthcare at the time, and we had this. We had a lot of lads in there who were like, what would you call it? When they're dying and it's just end of life care.
Yeah, like terminal.
Cancer and stuff like that, yeah. And then we got this traveller in, and he was just a pain in the arse. I worked the wings with him, he was an idiot then. And he just caused his trouble all the time. And he set fire to his cell anyway. Cut along. So I'm on there, I've got all these lads who've got cancer in wheelchairs and some pretty bad mental health patients who are like crazy. So I'm like, right. I went into organising mode. Where's the fire plan? Because one of them was the exercise yard, and one of them was getting out there, but the fire was right at the door. So, and there wasn't one. So, shit. So I got everyone out anyway, and they all come down, they sprayed it down and got it all out. So afterwards, I ring up the health and safety manager, and I just say, listen, we've got no fire plan down here, mate. That was a disaster before. Put the phone down, so gets on. Next thing, the governor comes down, like, storms in. She says, I want a word with you. I said, yeah, okay. Private. So I'm like, okay. So we went in the corridor. And she said, what are you trying to prove? You trying to prove people are wrong. You're trying to prove you're better than anyone else. I'm like, why? Because I've asked for the fire plan. And she's like, yeah, Mel told us you're no good at this job. You have to. I said, excuse me. I said, she was sat with, I lost my temper then. She was sat with me and Kate in the office today, telling us how good we are with patients. Someone's bullshitting you, governor. He said, you can't talk to me like that. I said, you can't talk to me like that. I said, I could walk out this door now and get me a pension tomorrow. And she goes, oh, a man of your age talking like that. I said, it shows how much you know your staff. I said, I'm fucking 64. No, not 62 I was then. I said, and anyway, I said, don't talk to me like that. Who do you think you are? And the governor said, yeah, sit your job up your arse, and I threw my card at her. And he just walked, and she went then and left me there. So I'm like, oh, okay. Next thing, this Mel comes down. Actually, I get on really well with Mel. I think she was just having a bit, some issues herself at the time, so I don't blame Mel. Mel come down, he said, what you said to Claire, that was the governor, was out of order. I said, how do you know you went? I've got a proper loss. She said, you weren't even there. I said, a good manager would have been there to support staff. I said, but you're too busy wife kissing ass up there. And she'd brought Glenn Bagley with her. Glenn Bagley is a big monster. And I said, and why is he here? And she said, well, I said, you're not suspending me because I've already told her she shove a job up her arse, so I'm off. And she goes, oh, Glenn, will you escort him? I said, I don't need escorting, mate. I'm quitting. And we got outside and Glenn's like, Mark, because I'm a good friend, mates with Glenn. He takes the mickey out of me a hell of a lot, that man. But I let him. We're walking up past, you have to go past the kitchens. And he go, Mark. And I what? Because I was still a bit grumpy. He says, here. He give me the badge back. He said, don't you walk out of the job for an idiot like that. Go outside. He said, go home. And I'll see you tomorrow for your shift. And I did. But the funny thing is, Sean, I got moved out of healthcare, obviously. Put me on house lot 2. A month later, she calls me up to her office and gives me a coffee machine for having to clean this wing. And you just couldn't work it out, mate. But, yeah, and then I had a fight with the prisoner.
Over what?
He was, right, I was on late. So he asked me to cover house lot 2 because they were short staffed. I was in reception. So I did it. And on house lot 2, we have the SRU, which is like, it's like a seg, but it's not the seg. It's if they're disruptive prisoners, they go on the SRU. So it's not, so basically seg's free. And they're always on the buzzers. So my plan, and it used to always work, about in the winter, about 7 o'clock, I'd turn all the lights out. And they used to go dead quiet. It was mad. But this lad, he was on Gillette and he kept pressing his button. And I was busy with his catering. I was on my own. I was busy with catering. Eventually, I got down to him and said, yeah, mate, what's up? I want some toilet roll. I said, what? He used to wind me up because these are grown men. Why don't you take the toilet roll in with you before you get banged up? You must know. Because every wing I worked on, everyone's got 2 toilet rolls, so they never run out. And he started accusing me of being a racist. Oh, is it because I'm black you want? I said, oh, mate, piss off. I said, I'm the most non-racist member of staff in this jail. I said, so, and other lads were shouting, yeah, you dickhead, Mark's not racist. He's a dick, but he's not racist, you know, all this. So we start really, I said, mate, don't be behind the door, warrior. I said, speak to me tomorrow or the next day when you're out, you fuck sell and we'll deal with it, yeah? So that was it. But that happens every night. Well, it's every night behind the door warriors. Man, I have to stop a nurse levelling one once. She went in that night and he started getting, she was like on him. Yeah. Anyway, a couple of days later, I'm on house lot 2. I've been moved to house lot 2 by then. So I was working house lot 2. I got made coordinator because the AD and the manager said, Matt, we want you to give us hand run this because it was in a bit shit state at the time. They put me on a wing where it was a majority of Muslims and like, we need it half and half. So I had to go in there and sort that out. I quite enjoyed it actually, mate. It was, I didn't get, in private jails you don't get paid for that responsibility, you just got to do it. But I turned it down a few times, but this AD and this manager, I liked them and they liked me, so I did it for them. So I'm walking, but what I used to do, if one of the officers had to take someone to healthcare, I'd go on the wing then until they come back. So there was always 2 staff on. So I went on this wing and this idiot started on me, didn't he? And he's giving it out, and I'm like, oh, shut up, man. But then one of our colleagues, he's like everyone's hero in the prison, but he died of COVID. It was bad, mate. He had a funeral around the jail, and I was in bits. He used to call me the Manc Minion. And he started like slagging Sproio. So I lost it, and I just was at him. I just jumped at him. I know it's stupid, but it is what that's. And it was that bad, the staff had to jump on me, not him. But she seen it, didn't she? And she called me upstairs, she went, Mark. And I went to the manager straight away and told him what I'd done. I always hold my hands up, mate, because if you lie and get caught, it's going to be worse, isn't it? And she said, Mark, that was like a barroom brawl on Saturday night. What is wrong with you? And I told her. She said, you know, I'm going to have to take your badge off you because he's made a complaint. But we're not going to suspend you. I'm like, well, what's the point? So I got moved off frontline and put. Oh God, he took. His family did it. His family reported it. The police were involved. The police actually sent a letter to Martin, the dep, saying, "Look, it's going no further this as long as you deal with it." So they said, "Well, we've dealt with it as an SO now." So he got shipped out. About 3 months later, Martin called me up and said, Matt. So, yeah, what's up? He goes, that prisoner is down in London somewhere now. He wrote a letter begging to come back here because he made a mistake.
Oh.
And I got my badge back. But yeah, so that was 3 of them. Yeah, that was the old. I mean, I was close sometimes, like that governor, like covered for me. But I was in a bad way at the time. I was fighting everything that moved, even staff, kicking off with staff. Like getting the car park after work and all this. And I got that at me ages. Well, what's up, mate? You're going to take me in the car park, yeah? And these are big lads, you know. I didn't flatten me, really. But I was in that. I had about a year of that, mate. I was proper bad. But because you have good colleagues around you and that, and like the reception staff now, if I had a wobble, they just laugh at me. And that's what happened when I retired early. This new prison it is in Leicester, it's brand new. So they're moving all the nice prisons there to start with, because the staff are all new. So I took some prop up there, and this manager come out, he'd just been made a manager out of nowhere. He spoke to me like I was a piece of dirt on the floor. So I'm like, hey, don't talk to me like that. I said, I've been in this job 12 years, you don't talk to me like that. And he said to me, I said, listen, mate, talk to me like that, come outside and we'll talk about it. Are you threatening me? I said, I'm not threatening you, mate. I proper went. I got back to our jail, he reported me. And that's when the governor had stuck up for him instead of, so I thought, nah, I can't do this. Bad.
We're just going over the stories then to make sure there's none we missed out. First negotiation,
it was, I told you about Lima Wing with all the Manx on it.
Go on.
It was funny. It's funny, really, but some idiot in our admin had forgot to order toilet rolls. So we were proper like short of toilet roll. You know toilet roll there, it's worse than. So we was going round. We had to do it. Right? Anyone that had like 5 or 6 toilet rolls, we said, listen, mate, we're gonna have to take them. And we take them, and eventually it got there. Everyone, there was just one in every cell, and we're like, shit. Next thing we know, Mark, can you go Lima Wing? I said, why? They decided to have a peaceful protest and just sit down. They weren't going behind the doors, so we got some toilet rolls. We're like, what? We haven't got any, what we're going to do? Can you have a word with him, mate? You get on with him. So I'm like, right, okay. So I was on the wing and I said, John, because I knew straight away who'd organised it. He said, come on. So I went at his pad, again, stupid, because I'm on my own with 70 odd prisoners and I'm in a cell with the ringleader. But yeah, John's all right. So he put me have a brew. I said, right, what's going on? He said, this toilet roll, mate, we're not going to kick off, we're not going to be violent, we're just not going behind our doors till we get toilet roll. So I'm like, right, because I'd heard the governor had sent someone out to Tesco to buy shitloads of toilet roll. So we're chatting there, I said, listen, let's have a brew. What do you want us to do, mate? There's no, and I was going through it with him. He said, I can't do it anymore, man. There's no toilet roll, everyone's kicking off. I'm trying to keep the peace because he had his own stuff going on and didn't want us on the wing. I said, right. I said, I'll tell you this, I shouldn't be telling you this, but the governor sent out, we had a bit, what's it called, that massive big warehousey thing, cash and carry it is. He's gone up there, he's going to spend loads of money on toilet roll, but they're going to be obviously a couple of hours. So what are you going to do, sit out for 2 hours? Or, well, so we get them, are you going to believe me? So he went, oh. So we walked out of his cell. He went, lads, and he just walked to his cell and everyone just went in his cell. So that was my first one. It was quite easy, but a bit. And I come out and the governor's like, oh, Mark, well done and all. I said, mate, it wasn't me, it was John. If John decided, that was it, it wasn't me. We got on really well with him. I had to talk him down again once, so they tried to ship him out on Christmas Eve. And he weren't having it. But he weren't protesting, all the other prisoners on the wing were. Again, Mark, oh, God's sake, let's go and sit with John. And he did the same, we talked about it, and I promised him, because his big thing was, first he's moving on Christmas Eve, so they've got the hooch and everything ready, haven't they, for the party. And secondly, he's going to be without his prop on Christmas Day. And I went to the governor, I said, listen, mate, we've got to be fair with him. If you tell him he can take his prop, give him time to pack, he'll go. No trouble, hands down. And he did. But again, the same. He walked in his cell, so everyone stopped and went, right, okay. He didn't have to say anything. He was mad.
How many negotiations did you do?
Official ones, not many, but a lot of unofficial ones. I mean, we didn't have netting, so half our issues wasn't people getting on the netting. And we did have a spate. We had a spate when we moved the VP's 12'3". We had a spate there of people who'd gone to the VP ring, like, kicking off. He was one of them. Again, it was late at night when everyone had gone home. But I was on late. Because the thing is with negotiators, if you do negotiating after your work, you get paid. If you do it during your shift, you don't. So I had this one during my shift. So he's on the railings, and he's got tied round the railings and round his neck. So I'm like, I'm on my own here. I need more people. Not to negotiate, but in case he jumps. So I said, like, who's got, because we have a fish knife. I said, who's got a fish knife? Nobody had a fish knife. So if he jumps, I've got to go and cut him down after I'm talking to him, because I had mine. So I said, right, I put Tim here underneath. So if he jumps, catch him. You've got to, else he'll die, because it's not far, but it's far enough. Well, we had one who did it, and he tied it too long, and he just broke his legs, and he jumped properly. And I was going on and on, we was talking. I tried all the tricks, like a fresh cup of coffee, so he could smell it. Got fish and chips from the kitchens, he could smell that. And he says, I need some water. So I got someone to go off. He filled this freezing cold water and put it on the table, all the condensation dripping down it. He said, mate, come down and it's all yours. I said, oh, God, I'm not coming down. And he weren't budging, so the manager come on then, and it was her fault because she'd not got him some stuff. She come marching and I said, can you get off? I'm the manager, she said, don't give me shit, I'm the negotiator and it's my scene, get off. And I said, it's your fault, he's up there. And I'm entitled to that because, and then Victor too cut his bratty again. He said, Mark, do you need, like, I get the VR reps, like violence reduction reps. And these two lads were big scousers. One was called Pancake. He's like shot a bouncer in Liberty. He used to try and nick my vape every time he seen me. And one day he got it, but it broke. I was like, yep. I proper went off on one at him. He was a big lad. And he worked in the shop down at visits. Every time I went to visits, like, yeah, man, give me Coke and biscuits in case, because he broke. And it was like, oh, he's a big mad gangster, man. He's all over you. Anyway, so Bratty got these VR reps. Thought he's going to talk to them because they're prisoners. So I'm down here in the VR, and I'm talking to this lad, Jake he was called, and they were secretly undoing the rope. And then he turned around and talked to them. So the other one, and in the end, he got it all undone. And he says, right, yeah, I'm going now. I'm sick to death of you. You're not going to jump, you're a pussy. Which I shouldn't say. I am. And he jumped. And it was not. We had the cushion underneath him. I am. And he jumped. And he's like, he weren't even tied to the rope. But these VR reps had helped me. Bratty got a bollocking the next day after the governor because he let him out after lockup. What? This is the politics, mate. This is when the politics kicked in. It's like, what? This is what's happening now. It's just mad.
What was your most difficult negotiation?
There was 4 of them barricaded themselves in the cell. Wait till you hear what the demand was. Pretended they had an hostage, another prisoner. So the first on scene's there, like doing his first on scene bit. And I got called up because it got all what I did. Command suite was open and everything. They called me up. They went upstairs. I had to go in the command suite, give me a briefing. I actually had a team this time. It was another one during the day. 4 hours it was. I didn't get a penny. We got a briefing. We went down. We set up. I went to the door. And it was good in a way because I went to the door and they're like, right, lads, what's going on? I'm Mark. What do I call you? Sometimes you call me sir, or you call me God and all that. And I'm like, no, I'm not calling you that, man. I won't do it. But that helps sometimes and you won't do it. And then one of them piped up and said, oh, is that Monk, Mark? Because that's what they call me. He's all right, because his dad had died a few weeks earlier. And I sat with him for an hour in his cell talking to him. He's all right, he sat with me when my dad died, so straight away I'm like, oh, that's okay, and we're off here. And it was going okay, they weren't coming out. And I soon realised, because I knew him, that he weren't an hostage, he was just one of their So I'm like, right, lads, what can I do? This is our famous line. What can we do to solve this? What do you want? Because we need to get what they want. They're not going to get it, but we need to know what they want. You know what he said, mate? Seriously. We want 4 tea bags and a vape. All right, sorry. And that's all he wanted. He said, we'll get that, won't we? There's nothing. I'm like, no, mate, you won't, because next week, that lad next door to you is going to run out of tea bags. He's going to take you hostage and say, I want some tea bags. So you won't get it, but I'll pass it up. Obviously, it got kicked out. But that went on for ages, mate. It was, and then the Nationals turned up. So I had to talk like I'm talking to you now. And this bloke's in between my legs, taking the bolt off the door. And I've not to show any expression.
What's the Nationals?
They're like the squad that come in.
Tornado squad?
Tornado. Well, everyone's got a tornado team in the prison. They call them tornadoes, but they're not. Well, they are, but they're like the Nationals. Any trouble, riots, Nationals. You've got so long before you have to call them in. But we have some governors who are scared stiff and calling me straight away when we could have dealt with it ourselves. But anyway, that's when we lost the wing, that happened. So I'm there trying to talk to these, well, they're undoing all these screws in between my legs and everything, and I've got to keep them talking. I can't show them that there's something going on because obviously, and one of them decided he was going to cut up and he just started slashing his arm, there's blood spraying everywhere, and I'm like, you're supposed to use distraction then, like shout, like if you're beating an officer up or something, you say, yeah, you call him a dickhead or something, so they'll get mad at you instead. But what do you do? And what he'd done, he'd seen one of the Nationals go across the grass at the back. So he's like, it's them. So that was him. He had a blade, so he's slicing his arm up. Proper bad, mate. It was like, and I've got to stay. I'm like, oh, crap, but I can't give it away. And that went on for ages, mate. Blood everywhere. Won't get my tea bags and all that shit. And then, in the end, they're like, all right, we'll come out. Let us out. I was like, yeah, okay, mate. But I was telling the stupid I didn't have keys. I said, I haven't got no keys to let you out anyway, mate. But then you've got to kick in. We'll have to wait now. You want to come out, but you're going to have to wait now because we're going to have to get a team in and we're going to have to do it. Oh, we're going to go to Seg. I said, well, yeah, of course you're going to go to Seg. What do you think? But then this happened with the cutting up. And he said, if anyone comes in here, I've got a blade. So I'm like, I didn't show it. Well, I'm like, shit, that's it. He threatened them, you're done. But I still had to keep him talking for me. And that was quite hard because I knew what was going to happen. He was bleeding all over and I didn't want them to come in because then I failed, if you know what I mean. That was hard. They come in the end. But just before they come in, I said to number 2, can you get all the gold command, please? Because I need the toilet. I'd just come in from my shift. I was bursting for the toilet. I'm an old man, I've got diabetes, let me know. But it come back, no. Again, I forgot I was mic'd up, I'm like, tight cow. And then my number 2's going, no, you just shit. So I'm stood there, bursting for the piss. Next thing, this big geezer comes running down the wing, picks me up bodily, carries me up the wing, drops me, goes, thank you. Next thing, thunder flashes, the fucking lot went in. But on camera, it shows me, you know, like the American film where the fireman walks out like this with all the explosions going on. It shows me walking up the wing like this, like I'm not bothered, like the big hero. I was like, oh, Mark, that was ace, but I said, fuck off, I wanted to piss, man. I was going straight to Medtats for the wee, mate. I weren't no hero. But that was a difficult one because I knew him, and when he was cutting up and that, the first thing I wanted to do is go in and give him help, but obviously I can't. The 7-hour one was hard, but that was more stamina hard. Because we was having good chats, we was chatting about all kinds of stuff. Luckily, he was a United fan as well, so that took up an hour or so. But I've had ones who won't talk to me, they're just like, oh, I'm not talking to you, so well, I'm not going. And I have to stay there, but they just blank me. And you have to keep trying, but one of them was just, listen, me, I had enough, I'm off. That was the one over at pool table. You weren't going to fall far, I'm off, see you later.
Were any of the holdouts being quiet? Did you manage to get any of them talking eventually?
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
The the one reason they put me on a negotiator's course was she says, like, you can talk shit for hours, mate. You're perfect for the job. And that's all it is.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks, like, staff would be like that 7-hour one. Say, oh, you're crap at your job, you. We have to wait, because they couldn't go home then, because crap at your job, you. Wait it out. I said, that's not my job to get him off. I said, and actually, when he got off and nearly stabbed me, that was your job to get him off, but you weren't there.
How long were you a negotiator for?
I actually went on the negotiator, started when I was in comms, because in them days you didn't have to be a badged member of staff or an officer to be a negotiator. So I passed my assessment, and by the time the course came up, they changed it. So I had to wait till I passed my badge. As soon as I passed my badge, they had me on it. So I was doing it a long time. Loved it, because most of the time I managed to sort it before anyone got hurt. And they used to say, people used to say, you a negotiator, because I was a bit of a snapper as well. How can you be a negotiator when you first in when there's a kick-off and all that? And then other people would be like, he's actually a brilliant negotiator, because he can wear 2 heads. And my manager used to say, Gazzy used to say to me, if it was kicking off, he'd be like, Mark, put your negotiator head on, for God's sake. So I'm like, okay, mate. And then that. So it was, I used to have 2 heads, mate, because I didn't mess about. I tried my hardest not to, but like that one who was just like threatening nurses and stuff like that, he was going down. I'm sorry. But.
So just checking, we've done all these. The next one was losing a wing.
Yeah, we lost the wing, yeah. That again, right, was this governor we had. He was one of these airy-fairy governors, you know. He's like, so we had these prisoners coming from Coventry. They'd been in another jail and they caused major disturbance. Basically, they took a wing. So they get shipped out, quite rightly. But when they get shipped out, you don't put them on the same wing, because the trouble causes, oh no, missed the new governor. Oh no, put them on the same wing. They deserve a second chance. They've changed. They've told me they've changed. Okay, we have to do it. So we put them on a wing together. It's about 4 or 5 days later, took the wing, didn't they?
When you took the wing, what do you mean?
They won't lock up. So the first thing you do when you lock up, you lock everyone else up. And then we got to deal with them. But there was 6 of them. So we need 18 staff. So the first thing you do, you withdraw, lock the door, leave them on there till you get sorted and the managers come down, blah, blah, blah. So we did this. So while we did this, they started going, hey, why are you on the wing, like, kicking the doors. I mean, this time, they didn't leave the room cupboard open. Everything was locked down. But they managed the paint room with all the painting. It was only it weren't a proper prison door, so they managed to kick that in. So they were throwing paint. Effing throwing paint about. But we got 18 officers dead quick, kitted up, ready to go on. We could have gone on and did it, because they didn't have an hostage. They weren't holding anyone hostage. There was no more prisoners out. So we could have gone on there, 18 of us, negotiator, and I weren't kitted up. Because I'd try to keep them talking while they're getting kitted up. We could have got them. The security governor comes down. Oh no, I've called the Nationals. Why? We could have done it ourselves. So he's called the Nationals straight away, which is going to cost the prison 20 grand, because we're private, we have to pay for it. When we could have done it ourselves, because they weren't like big monsters, they were like little weedies from Coventry. We could have easily done it. I mean, one of them, he came so close to the gate to talk to me, could have opened that gate, grabbed him, and dragged him out of the gate, but he wouldn't let us. 6 hours later, the Nationals turn up. This wing is wrecked, man. It's proper wrecked. He smashed all the safety glass in on wing and all cells. There was paint everywhere. Nightmare. These Nationals come in, mate, like the full squad of them, mate, dogs, the lot. It was a sight to behold. These dogs were like this big. They used my wing, because I was next to a wing. They all come down my wing to get in the back door. I shit myself, these dogs come running, and I locked myself in the office, man. They were mad. This big black Alsatian looked at me like that, like, no. And they went on the wing and they destroyed him, basically. and one at dogs cut his foot on a glass, so that lad got a bit more
Can imagine.
treatment. Then we found out the governor had let him on the wing together. We didn't know at the time, but it's like, what? This was the governor who didn't tell us about this idiot attacking women where my Jade got battered. It's like, what? So we stayed. It was three of us, me, Ethan and little Emma again. So we volunteered to stay to feed the prisoners and do the meds. So by the time we finished, we'd done like a 17-hour shift with all bollocks. The worksmen had come in to fix the glass and that. They'd been there about 3 hours. So walking down the route going on like, and we see the number one governor walking up, and he walks up like this, and think, oh, surely he's going to say something like thanks. Walks straight past us, shakes the hand of the work staff boys, and said, well done lads, thanks for coming in, just walked off. So me being me, I said, you dead to me, you mate. That's how he was with staff, he didn't care, and then we found out, like, what?
Useless.
We had a prisoner escape on his shift.
Did you?
On his dot, yeah.
What
the
method?
The only prison we've had escape in 3 years was on his watch.
What method?
Just walked out.
Just walked out?
Yeah. It's cat big. What it is, you probably know, they have bibs. Prisoners have to put a bib on when they come in the visits. This governor decided that was inhuman to make him wear gloves. So he didn't make him wear them. So this lad, short staff, there's only 3 staff on. Just his family were there, massive big family. Just walked out with him. It was all over the news. We had sky cameras outside. Everything come to work, all cameras outside and everything. They had the solicitor on saying, yeah, I'm representing him, he's in Spain and all this going on. You know where they found him? It's down the road in Derby at his mum's. And he said to him, why did you do that? Because he'd been doing 8 years, he only had 2 years left. He said, oh, it's a laugh, innit?
So how much would he get added on for that?
He got another 8 years added on and got cat aid.
Bloody hell.
So for a laugh, he suffered. But where are these people coming on? Oh, he's in Spain. He was down the road. We just walked out, mate. It's a cat big. We've done it before. We had to negotiate a practice. And but when you do it, the rest of the staff don't know it's a practice. So we have to do it, negotiate. And this lad had come out, member staff, got out of visits because he had an hostage. Because we have to agree to take a shot, you know, if the armed police are there. We have to agree to be shot in the shoulder so they could get the prisoner. So he's walking about with this and goes up to Cat A. And the officer's there with his feet on the desk reading his paper, didn't even know what was going on. With the doors open. So he could have walked out. Luckily it was an officer. He got a bit of a telling off. But this is what happens, and then we get him driving out underneath a bus yesterday, the day before. See, the prison I worked at, Sean, you've got this mirror thing that looks under the vehicle.
Yeah.
And it's shit, it's plastic, it's scratched, you can't even see it out. So it could happen at our jail, it could happen at any jail. And the staff are like, yeah, we can't see now, just do it for show, but cameras and like that, you know. It can't be, mate.
So what happens when the government cuts costs?
Well, yeah. So that's another story.
Next one, ships outs and ships ins madness.
Yeah, proper. Well, we shipped a lot out. We had a lot of Liverpool gangsters in there. We had one gang on one out, one on the other, and it was like... And it comes that far that one day we just shipped a lot of them out. Buses were coming in to the prison and parking outside, and we was ragging them out ourselves, throwing them on the bus. It was mad.
Is there regional rivalries between like Liverpool, Manchester, things like that?
No, I got on with Scousers and Manx in there.
Yeah.
They do actually get on because I think it's because they're out of area as well. So it's like...
Well, they're in Stoke.
Northwest against... But in our jail, we ended up with a load like London, Birmingham, Manchester. So the Manx and the Scousers tend to stick together a lot.
Right.
But then we didn't, because, oh mate, some of them, they tried to run from one house lot to the other to get each other, and it was like, mate, you're not even going to get through the doors, what are you doing? A big scrap on the grass with officers, and good fun, actually. Yeah, and then we started getting people shipped in from all over. It was after, the Birmingham, when they had the riots all over the country.
Yeah.
beds were needed, so we was getting people from all over the country brought in from mate, the arrogant pigs who like, first people in jail, he thought they have to be hard when they come in and all that. He was just constantly twisting people up, and people come on the wing like, who do you think you are, you screws and all that. And some of my mates were like, yeah, we'll show you what we're like. Because in them days you could. And they'd end up, like, one come in and he walked through the gate and he's gobbing off. And my mate says to me, mate, shut up. Who are you talking to? Fucking shut up. And he went, he said his name. And the next thing, this prisoner's on the floor like, I told you to be quiet. And he just walked off and got his brew. And we had a lot of that. Mate. One time, the reception had let this lad, he'd been plan removed from his cell in Doncaster, put on the bus, and he come to us. So when he come to us, he was in his dressing gown. And he's refusing to put prison clothes on. So reception, I don't know why they decided it, let him come up, walk up the route onto our wing in his jams and his dressing gown. So straight away, I'm like, yeah, mate, what are you doing? He walks up, he goes on the landing, and he goes, right, I'm going to jump off today, I'm going to hang myself now. I say, well, you pathetic little boy. I said, shut your mouth and get in yourself. He's like, who are you? And my trigger was when a prisoner called me old man. Like, what are you going to do, old man? He says, what are you going to do, old man? I went, you fucking what? And I grabbed, he had the thing in his hand, he'd not put it on, and I grabbed it, and I wrapped it on his leg, and I pulled him, and he fell on his ass. I said, fucking that. And I turned round, and the duty governor's there, I'm like, shit. And he went, yes, man, nice one, and just walked off. now I'd get locked up, locked off. But it was things like that, mate, it was just mad. And it was happening all over the prison. There was alarms going all over, because these people come in, and they have this thing that private jails are easy. But we, in Dovegate, on these, the yearly inspections and that, we come third highest Cat B, first best Cat B in the prison, and we was the only private jail up there. So we weren't shit. We were doing it, mate. Not having it. It's our prison, and that's how it was then. It was an officer's prison, not. You're going to get people, and there were some big lads in there like Big John. He could have caused us a lot of bother, but we got on the right side of him, so he was all right. And he was this big scout. He was massive. He worked in the gym and everything, and he was proper massive. And he was getting shipped out, and he refused. So we had to get the big gym lads to go and move him, because no one he'd have run over me. He'd just walked over there, work there. So he goes in, and he puts up a fight. Now he's a gym orderly, so he knows the gym stuff. And he puts up a right scrap, and he's scrapping with him for ages on his bed. Like they're bouncing on his bed like a trampoline, and they're fighting, and eventually they get him. I think he got tired. And as he walks out, the gym lads let him go. Just like, and he went, good fight, lads. And just shook their hands and walked to Seg and walked down, got on the bus and went. Some of them, it's just, some of them are like, they'll put up a fight. They know that a lot of ours, it's not personal, we just got to do it.
Speaking of muscles, did you ever come across Purple Aki?
No, but a few of the scouters knew him. But one lad used to tell us stories of Purple Aki, and he'd crack us up.
What
and
stories
I
are
used
they?
to just call, kissing the muscles and all that. And I ended up calling him Aki's boy. And we had that, I'll tell you the worst person we had in, that, what's it called, a little 10-year-old got shot. He came, the one who did it, got shipped to our jail, walked on the wing, and all his scousers were cheering him.
Were they?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
I'm like, well, I was going mad. He didn't, he killed a kid. But they was in his gang. What was his name? Do you know what I mean? In the Everton shirt.
I can't remember it now.
Bloody hell. He's probably enjoying America then, wasn't
Yeah, yes.
he? Oh, God, his name will come to me in a bit.
So the next one was in charge of the wing.
Yeah, that was how bad the staffing was, Sean. I'd only been graduated a few months. Joe and Ryan at the time was off. So I had to run the wing. And I would only been there a few months. And then the lad that was on, they'd put on with me, got taken off to do a plan removal. So I'm on the wing on my own with 64 prisoners. It's like, I didn't know. And it was, again, the long-termers that helped me out that day. I didn't get any help because once he took that officer off, it was a big planned removal. So he was hours and hours doing paperwork. And we didn't have any staff, so they left me on my own. I'd only been in the job a few months. And I was on my own, and I was lucky, nothing kicked off. And these lads proper helped me, like they did surgery for me, and they helped me lock up. And because I'd done it on my own all morning, the manager left me and, oh, you're all right this afternoon, he just walked off. It's like, what? So I had to learn quickly how to run a wing and how to actually build a relationship where, yeah, I could. But I went in after, we locked up, and again, they helped me lock up. Oh, well done, Mark. Effing well done. I said, you left me on my own. I've only been in job like a few months. I shouldn't have been left on my own in wing. Yeah, but you did it. I said, I had no choice. It worked for prisoners. I wouldn't have done it. I said, don't ever do that to me again. Because I was, a few months later, I was the most senior officer on the house block. Seriously, the whole house block, I was the most senior officer, if you like. Joke. That's these idiot managers, governors that come in, cut the staff down so they got a profit.
Next one's mentoring new officers.
Yeah, they put me in charge, mentoring new officers. I loved that. And I taught them the right way. With a lot of new officers who've been there a while, just ignore them. They don't show them the job. And I say, well, who mentored you when you started? And one said, oh, you did, you showed me everything, so why aren't you doing it with them? And I really took that job serious. And I mentored quite a few, and a lot of them were managers, one's an AD now. Because I mentor them, they always say that, if it weren't for you, we wouldn't be here. Because I showed them how to do the job properly. But I also told them that, like, stick with me, see what I do. And then other times say, yeah, wait in here a minute, I've just got a bit of business to do here. So I didn't show them everything, but my pride and joy was Jade. But she left in the end and went working for police, so. But she was so frightened to tell me. She's like, she got me one, she said, Mark, can I have a word? I said, yeah, what's up, mate? I'm really sorry. She said, what do you mean I'm leaving? So I'm like, why? What are you doing? No, straight away. I'm going to police. I said, why are you apologising, mate? It's a better career for you. So, yeah, good on you, mate. Yeah, I was quite proud of her. She'd have been the top dog in the prison service if it weren't for that idiot. Tried to shift him back, for court. Luckily, the manager caught him and he's like, he ain't coming here. I need Mark to work.
And that was what triggered your PTSD?
Yeah, the way Jade's face, mate, it was horrible. I'm all right now.
Because he smashed her into the...
Oh, her face was a right mess. I'm all right. It came back when I got assaulted last year. But there's another story in it.
So, reception?
Yeah, I moved to reception twice. I went in reception. I just got sick of working the wings. No, they decided the induction wing, first night wing, and reception were going to join up. So the AD, Danny, says to me, Mark, go to reception for 3 months, learn that, then come back to my wing and explain to the staff how we're going to work. So I'm like, yeah, okay. So I goes down there and I quite enjoyed it. It was different. And we've seen prisoners come in and there was plenty of kick-offs and to keep us occupied, and we weren't that far from Seg, so we didn't have to move them far. Because some of them come in like proper kicking off. Whatever we had, it slashed up on the bus, like proper. So we had to come off the bus, obviously. So I'm not coming off the bus, I've got a blade in my mouth and all this palaver. So we're still outside and this manager's there, he's a bit of a pussy. She's like, oh, what can we do to make you come off? She said, you can't do anything, I'm not coming off. So I'm like, no, I'm going home in a bit, I'm not having this. So I just walked upstairs, I grabbed his head, pulled him down, and walked him off. That was it. I didn't have to fight with him, I just needed someone to make a decision, didn't it? I pulled him off the bus, not knowing he'd slashed all his head, so I was covered from ear to ear in blood. Like, so, yeah, it was things like that going on in reception, so there was always something, and then people would kick off because of the clothes and all, it was just constant.
And prisoners with documentaries made about them.
Well, there was a few of them in there, mate. One of them, he was a Jim Hardley. He was on telly. I didn't even know he'd done this till I seen it. He'd like proper killed his girlfriend basically, but he terrorised her for months and months, and he was on there. I told people.
You had a superintendent come in who
that was the one.
fine with child images.
Yeah. He came in, police superintendent, he had child images on his computer. I don't know if it was work computer or his own computer, I didn't really know what. He came in and I always got the job of booking these people in. Maybe because I'm old and I look like I'm a nice man, but I don't know.
Did the prisoners try and get him?
Oh, well, that's it. I was booking him in, and because he was a policeman, first of all, and a VP, he was going to SEG, no doubt about it. So I booked him in, he had a bit of a cry, I had a bit of telling him off about crying for his victims, not himself.
Good.
I mean, a proper telling off, but got him to, and as we walked in SEG, the prisoners were like, "Oi, copper," and the N word to it. The VP, different word, and we're going to kill you if we get out of here. We're going to, and he was scared to death. And I'm saying, "Well, you reap what you sow, mate." Put him in his cell, locked the door. He got bail the next day when he went to court. Thousands of images on his computer. We had priests, mate. Priests come in.
Did he come back though? Because he was convicted.
He didn't come back to us, no. He's probably got a cushy cat or something.
She had priests come in who were attracted to kids.
Yeah, a lot of historical. We went through a lot of historical. We had a lot of prisoners in over 70. Historical sex offenders. We had this priest come in. Bad what he'd done. And nuns were coming to visit him. We had one who was sexually abusing young boys for years. He finally got caught. And because he was short of cell, they locked him up with a 19-year-old sex offender. It's like, what you doing, man? And then they give me, I was his key work. And I never went to, I couldn't stay in the same room as him, mate, because I know what I'd done. Plus, I'd worked with victims before. We've had, some of them are just like horrible people. But they're getting little gangs then, mate, on the wing, and they're all like plotting. And then they have the hierarchy. Yeah, I only someone, I'm not a child. You're a VP, mate. You're all the same. But they had their
hierarchy.
And I did it once. They let me very well and put me on that wing. I went on once to help him feed because he was feeding behind the door. I can tell this story now because I don't work there anymore. And I'm going there with this tray with food and I open the door and this VP says to me, "About fucking time you got here with my food." I went, "What?" He said, "About time." I went, "Yeah, mate." And I threw it at him all over the wall and then I nicked him for having an untidy cell. three of them I got.
Good on you.
And then the manager said, "Mark, come off." I was like, yeah. Because I couldn't, me and my mate, he worked in reception with me. He was worse than me, mate. If a VP come in and they were cocky, we had a room called the Arena. It had no camera in it, so yeah. But he was like nightmare. And me and him together, it was the VP's nightmare. Mate. I'll admit it now, I don't care. I levered one, I took him up to the wing. He was giving me attitude all the way up. I'm like, okay. Got up to the wing. I just pushed him in surgery and I levered him. And all the lads were there, VP, all the orderlies were stood at the door so no one could get in. He don't talk to me like that again. Yeah. I can't, mate. I'm sorry, and I know it's wrong, but was it Wedger? John Wedger.
John Wedger does some good
I'm all
work,
with him, mate, because I've seen it in care homes. I've seen how they were treated. Going off scale here a bit. One of them, I'll tell you one. I was in this children's home in Rottenstall, and this young girl come in, and her dad had like proper abused her, locked her in rooms. Her sister as well, the family, but they'd escaped. Big sister had managed to escape, so they escaped. And they came to us. I mean, she was in the right state. We have to work really hard to bring her around and trust adults. We worked there and we had her, mate. I used to sing Ruby, Ruby, Ruby with her every morning because she used to love that song and we walking downstairs. She got really settled. I'll tell you how bad it was, mate. One day, Because what we used to do in the kids' home, we used to all sit around the table and eat together. And she started messing about. I'm like, listen, stop messing about and eat your dinner. Next thing, she's under the table with a plate. I'm like, yeah, what are you doing? And what I used to do is, you should make him sit under the table and eat like a dog.
Scum.
So you won't hurt me. I said, listen, mate, I'll never hurt you. You need to come out there, sit on the chair, come on. And I got her up and I was like, my God. And you know what? Social services sent them back.
No,
And
that's
about
just criminal.
3 months later, she's back. You know the old chip pan? The mark of the grill on her face had gone like that on her face.
No.
And she came back to us, mate.
Why weren't they put in prison?
Well, he was eventually.
Oh, God. Disgusting.
But why did you let her go back in the first place?
Because they're useless, aren't they?
Oh, mate. When I was a manager, I'm going off piece there. I used to... My regional manager pulled me in because we went through that many phones in my office where I'd slam the phone down in frustration at these social workers.
Not surprised.
And one of them come, just graduated, started telling me how to look after this girl who had been working with for 6 months. I threw her out. I got reported. I said, get out of my home. Get out. You idiot. Yeah, we had one girl. She was, you know, like the Rochdale thing where they were all being groomed by
Yeah.
But she was happening in Derby. It was bad, mate. People, she was in a toilet and they were queuing up.
No.
Anyway,
Disgusting.
So the police brought her to us, like a secure place, a safe place for her. And if any cars we didn't recognise come into our car park, we had to ring the police and be there in seconds. It was that bad. But we had one, this poor bloke, he got lost and he come into our car park to us the way. 2 minutes later, he's surrounded by all these coppers who's getting twisted up, thrown in a bag. He'd only got lost. But I had to go, because I was a manager. No, I wasn't a manager, I was assistant manager. So I had to go with her to police. But you give her statements. It's horrific, man. This is why I can't tolerate them.
Exactly.
And that girl's living for life, and they're getting 6 years.
And they don't even give them sentences. They just get slaps on the wrist. It's pathetic.
Oh, mate, I have people that come in and, like him, got bail the next day.
Disgusting.
He's a copper. He's like proper, and like that girl got sent home to this evil man who burnt her with a chip pan. I used to be in tears, mate. That's what finally broke me, I think. I couldn't cope. It's the things I mean, one girl I had, she'd been passed around by her dad since she was 18 months old. Then her brother
Oh my God.
started on her, and she thought her brother loved her and was going to get married. That's how bad it was.
That's heavy.
And she picked her up, and she would not let me touch a case, a bag. She would talk to me, she would look at me. And I thought, you know what, I've got to stay with this girl, because she ain't, if I go, someone else comes, she's got to do it all again. And I stayed with her, and one day, I was sat in a Land Rover. We used to have a Land Rover. We used to take them camping out in the wilds and all that. I sat there, and my mate Sammy was dealing with her, because she was a girl. And I looked through the thing, and I see this Jill, she was called, running up. And I'm like, shit, she's running away. And I was about to get out, and she opened the door. She went, yeah, Matt, give me a cup of tea. She's like, where are we going today? I'm like, oh, thank God for that. Worst thing was, I had to go see that Britney Spears film with her about 8 times. I was sick to death of it. But she was another one, mate, horrendous upbringing. And these are the people, they want me to like, oh, is he doing the mate? No.
They need life sentences and other things.
Yeah, but then you get them lads, people on drugs. Right, this really annoys me, mate. So, in our system, you've got to do more than 3 months to get any help. So these lads who are on drugs, homeless, they get sentenced to a month. So they go out, no money, nothing. What are they going to do?
Steal something.
Yeah. It's like, it was one of my things, but I'm flogging a dead horse. I'm not against the prison there, I'm against the government. Just give them some help, man. You know, they got one lad, I think he's died now, David Tuck, known him for years, little weedy man. In and out of jail, he was in jail when I started. He was still till a few months ago. He died now because of drug overdose. He was doing that, coming in, nowhere to live, no money, nothing, coming out. Mark, what am I going to do? It's like, so he's going out. One of them he nicked a block of cheese, man. He called him and he got 4 months. No, but then out after 2 because that's how it is. So he didn't get any help. So what's he doing coming back?
So in the therapeutic community, is that where they tried to help them?
No, that's an entirely, basically, they're in therapy. It is what it says on the lid.
Yeah.
But I don't agree with it. I work therapeutic with young people. I was a manager of a therapeutic unit. I don't agree how they do it. Them prisoners can vote an officer off. An officer, and I know a lot of them lads, I know they fail. They come on the house but say, we only want it to get a tick in our box. We don't want help. But then you get people like Stretch, it was perfect for him. Because he weren't, it was, you know what I mean? So some it worked, some it didn't.
With his flowers.
Oh mate, it was a sight to behold, such a giant, and he's like, dead gender with these flowers, mate. It's so funny. Mowing the lawns and everything.
So healthcare during COVID must have deteriorated, did it?
Oh yeah, it was shocking. Because we didn't know a lot about it either. Obviously, when it first came out. I mean, for instance, one of our managers, she said, someone got COVID and he was off. She said, "You'll be all right now. You don't get it twice." I'm like, "Well, where have you been watching telly?" But it was bad because at the time, anyone who got COVID was just put in healthcare. So we had like nearly 3/4 of the wing covered with people with COVID, and we didn't know what it was killing. It was going to kill people, did we?
Did anyone die in the prison?
We did eventually. But you know when that was, mate? Because he refused to have a jab. And he got COVID and died.
Wow.
We had a couple of the best officers I've ever worked with died. One of them...
Officers were dying from
it. One of them, Earl, he actually got it off his wife. She's a nurse. Come home with it. He died. Brilliant officer, mate. He was... Me and him joined the army at the same time. Not the same regiment, but we was the same age. He was... when he died, the stuff he'd done had come out. It was like, what? He was the first black officer to escort the Queen on the world on a QE2.
Wow.
He was the Queen's piper.
Wow.
The first black officer to do it. He went all over the world and he never blagged about all this. He was just Earl. And we used to laugh about it because my number was lower than his, which made me like the senior, if you like. But he was the sergeant major, I was just a naughty boy. But yeah, and Sprowy, big Sprowy got it.
HB2, what's that?
Oh, I'll tell you about that. When I was coordinator at Platoon, I got naughtied. Suspended. Come on, you got to be the Caribbean. Haven't
The Caribbean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've gone through all them, so whatever's left.
Got loads left, man. Yeah, so I was in... We got this... You know, the big hurricanes they had in the Caribbean in 2017?
Yeah.
So this island, Turks and Caicos, got absolutely dished. And all the prisoners escaped because the prison got dished as well. But it's an HMP. But also, it's an island in the middle of nowhere. They're not fucking going anywhere, are they? But anyway, so they asked us if we'd go over. So, oh man, there was one mobile phone shop on the island. It got robbed. 70% of them phones were in the prison when we got there. So we went over. The first lot went over. They had no accommodation, nothing. They were sleeping in tents. There was Royal Marines there protecting them. It was horrendous. The prison was in shit state. The seg had been burnt down. The Jamaicans who'd come over were kicking the shit out of the prisoners, like 2 batons, smashing them. And we got sent over there to show them, no, that's not how you do it. So yeah, that was Tench 1. I went in Trans 3. So by then it had settled down a bit. There was a bit of accommodation. But mate, these prisoners over there think it's bad in our jails. What I mean over there, no glass in the things, no toilets. They had to shit, piss and wash in the same one they did the washing in, just a big plastic tub. Oh, it was horrible. So I went on Trans 3, which was over Christmas 2017, 2018. So I spent Christmas in the Caribbean, getting $1,000 a week for doing it. It's like, wow. And we only used to work 6 hours a day.
What was your rapport with the prisoners like?
It was bad at first. I mean, I can understand black people now because we got proper racial abuse. Cracker boy and all this shit going on. Oh, wow. But because the way we worked, we was trying to get them out of their cells because they were just banged up in these horrible places. So we was getting them out doing jobs around the prison, cleaning up, just basically cleaning up. But it's so corrupt, Sean. The officers were so... But they lived on the island. What are they going to do? And we used to go in raiding in the morning. And all the phones would be coming out the windows. So we come up with this idea. One of us go outside with the bag and we just catch it out of fucking phones. But the trouble is, when we come the next morning, do it all there again, we get like bottles of Jack Daniels and big sleeves of Marlboro and rum. And we'd get it, we'd take it out of the cell, we'd confiscate it. Next day, they've got it back because we used to leave at 4 o'clock by. So we turned up at 6:30 one day, should have seen the panic, because we leave at 4, we'll lock them all up. Go back at 6, they're all out, doing all the deals and shit. It's like, what? So, yeah. But in the end, they got to respect us and they enjoyed us. I mean, I'll give you one example where one of my colleagues decided to lock this prison up with no water at dinner time. I'm like, you can't do that. Well, he refused to. I said, mate, you can't bang him up with no water. I said, I don't give a shit what he says or does to you, you can't. And we was arguing about it. And in the end, I said, look, shut up, man, go away. That was my favourite saying. And I went and took him some water, and after that, he was believing me. We had this one prisoner there, he was like proper massive, he was like 6 foot odd. And he came in, and because I worked in reception in Dovegate, they put me in reception. So I'm like, right, what's your name, mate? I call everyone mate. I mean, to me, it breaks the ice a little bit, doesn't it? He said, my name's Not Nice. I'm like, shit. That's not a big Jamaican like called Not Nice. I'm like, Jesus. So we're talking, he says, listen, mate, I've got to search you. I said, but can you sit on a chair or something? Because I'm never going to reach you. And he's like, the big laugh. So I'm talking him through and I'm getting him down and I have to pat him down and all this. And I said, listen, why did they call you Not Nice? I said, are you a bit horrible? He said, no, it's because I'm not nice when I play football. Oh, thank God for that. And he was brilliant, mate. And I went to court with him. Now, the court said a different... The judge we had that day, she was probably like, she's bollocking prisoners like, I give you a chance and you've let me down, you stupid boy, and all that. So we're taking Not Nice to court. He's like this, cuffed to him. And he gets in court. And he goes, Mark, shit. I said, what? I said, my mum's here. Oh my God, she's a little woman and she ripped him, mate. He was like this. Proper ripped him a new arsehole, mate. This little black woman ripping me, Not Nice, in a new one. It was so funny. And when she went in court, he stood there like this. And his mum's like, and this judge was like, right, I've spoke to your mother. She's not very happy with you, is she? She said, she said she wants me to leave your laptop till after Christmas and then come back and we'll see how we're getting on. Take him away. He's like, what? That's what they were like. But one day, my mate, Jack, he turned up in court like an officer with shorts on. And I had my full uniform on because I knew she didn't like it. And I walked in and she goes, right, first prisoner. So Jack walks in and she went, hang on, hold the court. She was like this. She went, excuse me, officer. She went, yes, ma'am. She said, you going to the pub after this? Get out of my court in them shorts. And she threw him out. It's a different world, mate. But 4 o'clock, we finish. Sorry. And we'd be on the beach at 5:30. Like mega. And the only thing we had to pay for was cigarettes and beer. And that was the cheapest thing on the island. But we had days where there was nothing on the island, no ships had turned up, so we were like scrapping around for stuff. And the youngers couldn't cope, there was no internet. Like, wow. It was good though, it was good fun, it was a learning experience. Still contact now, a lot of us who went there, but yeah.
Why did you decide to quit then, Mark? It's just recent, wasn't it? May of this year,
Yeah,
was it?
I'd had enough, mate, the way it was going. It's like I said before, the prison looked like planned removals, the governor, and it's like, but that's what you're going to do with horrible people who need moving. You're going to ask them, come on, mate, you're not going to come out. Staff were getting assaulted left, right, and centre because he weren't looking after staff, mate. And I was very loud in my protestations against him. I threw something in his face, well, because he was talking that much shit. I got to the point where I didn't care, mate. I was more worried about my colleagues. Staff were getting assaulted, mate, all over the place. And that's because he wasn't giving us, letting them do our job, basically. And then we got this, and then that is just the final straw. I'd had enough. I only had 18 months left anyway. I got quite a little bit tucked away. Not much, it's not like 100 grand or something. And I thought, no, I've had enough. And then when this, I was like, the countdown was like, oh, we're only 38 months to go and all this. And I just had enough. And then that day, when he didn't even ask me why I'd lost my temper with this person. And he's going, oh, well, it's not going to be nice what I do next. I said, listen, Gov, I said, I don't care what you do next. I actually do not care. Suspend me all you want, I don't care. I said, actually, it'd be good because I'll be off and you'll be paying me. I said, but I've had enough of you and him, that means the governor. I said, you're pathetic. He said, you couldn't run a piss up in a brewery. I said, give me your pen. I'll write me resignation and I resign there and then on the dot.
Wow.
And just walked out. I'd had enough.
Wow.
And you know what, Sean? I thought I'd be quite upset because I had a lot of friends in there and we've been through a lot of stuff. And I actually walked out the gate and it's like a 10-ton weight had been lifted. I'm like, oh, wow. I got home, booked an holiday, and I've been on 6 holidays since. Loving it. But I still have contact with people at work, and like these I'm dealing with now for them. Shocking what's going on. Like a boys' club, mate. I'm not saying no more, obviously, but...
So, Mark, for the officers who are watching this, as an ex-military experienced officer, what do you say to the young officers who are watching this? What advice would you give them?
Listen to the experienced officers, ask questions, don't go in thinking you're the big man with the keys because you're not. Just listen to all, I did it. I listened to Joe and Ryan and they taught me a lot and that's what I took forward. I used that to mentor new officers, what they taught me. I mean, I couldn't lock the door properly. They made me stand there for half an hour locking the door so I got it right. But it worked. So listen to your older officers. They're the experienced, mate. Not your managers. I was told this when I started. Don't listen to the manager, listen to your wing staff. They know their wing, please. And then you'll be safe. Please listen to the older, experienced staff. And don't think you're a big man or lady. Because you've got the keys in the white shirt. You're not. Them lads could destroy you if you let them. Thank you.
And for the people who've been watching this then for the past 3 hours,
well,
do you have any way of them to get a hold of you? You on the socials or anything?
Not really. I'm on Facebook.
Facebook?
And what's that other, the green one? WhatsApp.
Right, so I'll put the Facebook down there if you want to get a hold of Mark. And wow, Mark's working on his book. We're helping him. Hopefully we'll get that out soon as well. He's got so many stories to share.
Got loads more.
Let us know in the comments what you thought about this video. If you'd like to see Mark back on. And we'll keep you updated as to when he's going to get his book out. And huge thank you, Mark. It's been absolutely
You're welcome, mate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully I'll have me 2 teeth then as well.